Hey guys, you are watching your anime world. How are you all? Please support to subscribe this channel for watching new interesting stories. So in this video, we will see fourth part, what if Deku was the only boy in an all-girls UA. Here is short summary. Izuku Midoriya enrolls at UA, only to discover he's the only male student in a school full of powerful heroines. How will he navigate hero training, friendships, and unexpected attention in this unique scenario? But before we start, if you want more stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if possible, share this video with your friends. Now let's start the story. Look, Mina crackled her hands outwardly as her classmates turned to her after they returned to their classroom. Look over here. She take a step, then flipping up in air with a twist before she land on her hand while holding her legs up with another hand. She finish it off with a spin, breakdance. Dancing is her hobby, huh? Reiko hummed. Mina's current body movements take inspiration from dance. Izuku looked through his notebook. How should I put it? It's a state of movement where your entire body is being used. Useful, Yui uttered. I should try it, too. The bush-haired boy muttered. Okay, boy, let's dance. Mina crossed her arms challengingly. Izuku stuttered. Yes, ma'am. He attempted to do a breakdance as the pink-haired girl teach him with a laugh. It's great that you've maintained this active hobby during our hero training. Momo clapped with a bright smile as Kyoka watched the dance. Such strength. Though, if we're talking about hobbies, Setsuna slide up to the rocker. Jiro's pretty impressive. Hey, stop it, Kyoka squeaked embarrassingly. Actually, that room of yours looked like a music store. The brunette girl flashed her sharp teeth with a grin. That's beyond hobby, girl. Hey, the rocker cried. Enough already, okay. Don't you guys remember the room king? Nah, that's gotta be a music pro's room, right? Setsuna half teased. How often do you practice? Do you seriously? A thrusting jack stopped an inch before her face, halting her with a yelp. I mean it. Kyoka glared with burning cheeks before she retreated to her desk. Cute. The brunette girl chuckled lightly before Shino entered the room and the students returned to their desks as the bell rang. We have a culture festival, Shino announced. So school-like. Most students cheered. Sensei, have there been any info on Eri-chan today? Suyu asked her curiously. I'll tell you guys later. The Telef heroine replied. Let's discuss culture festival first. Culture festival. Most girls were excited about the announcement. The school-like stuff has come. Let's decide what we're gonna do. Is it really okay for us to be carefree in this situation of time? Kashiko raised her hand up as everyone turned their heads to her. People have been talking about proliferation of villains, lately. That's an excellent point. Yu nodded her head. However, UA doesn't revolve around the hero department. That's right, Shino agreed. If the athletic festival is sponsored by the hero department, then the culture festival is in the domain of other departments. The level of exposure isn't comparable, but to them, it's an exciting festival. Moreover, the truth of the matter is that there's a considerable number of students who are stressed out from the daily activities of the hero department and its new boarding system. That's a fair point, the map user girl muttered. This year will be different from past years. The homeroom teacher spoke. Part of the staff will be cut and the culture festival will only occur within the school. As a rule, each class has to pick one program. She smiled. Today, we'll deciding on that. She waved the class president and vice president up to the front. I will try my best to narrow down ideas smoothly. Izuku held a printout with Momo next to him. First, let us pick some possible themes. Those with suggestions, raise your hands. Almost everyone raised their hands so fast. Gak. He looked around before he picked one out. Suyu. Frog music chorus. Suyu said and Izuku picked the next person as Momo wrote the suggestions down on blackboard. Maid cafe. Pony pumped her fists eagerly. A mochi shop. Ochako grinned brightly. Murder fest. Katsuki roared. Let's do death match. Haunted house. Toru waving her arms. Dancing. Mina waved her arms. A short play or something. Kyoka said. Well then, anything else? Izuku looked around after some more suggestions. I think that covers the suggestions from everyone. He turned to the blackboard with long list of suggestions. I'm going to erase all of the ones that are inappropriate or unrealistic and the ones that I don't really understand. Momo heartlessly wiped some suggestions off the board. How cruel. Kami pouted as the creator erased Izuku's strip dance show from the blackboard. I wasn't asking you to begin with. The explosive girl grunted when the creator also removed her suggestion. Who come up with history idea? Setsuna asked. It sound pretty boring. Some girls agreed with her and Kashiko hanged her head. Here goes her history of BL. We already have so many study hall sessions. Suyu said bluntly. If only I were useful. The creator looked ashamed by that and everyone have a long discussion for a while. We weren't able to narrow it down, huh? Momo sighed before the class bell rang. You can't decide on whatever you want to do. Shino asked before she give them a smile. That's okay, you can discuss more after classes. Make a decision by tomorrow morning. In the event that you can't decide, we'll draw random from whatever you guys suggest. Where's the intern group? Momo asked after she looked up from her laptop, little stressed that she can't find anything to help Izuku for tomorrow. The rest of the teenagers were in the common room. Supplementary classes. Abara replied. They said they can't really participate in the discussions, so they'll go along with whatever we decide. Now that I've tried to settle down and rethink it all, the creator placed an index finger on her cheek. Regarding what Sensei said about other departments, stress, I think we should come up with a design plan that would assist them in letting off some steam. She nodded to herself. Students aspiring to be heroes shouldn't have to go through this much stress. Well then, what if we did something more festival-like? Abara looked over the list with a hum, like a maid cafe, petting zoo, haunted house. A petting zoo is kinda unsanitary, isn't it? Kyoka muttered, we need something to let off some stress. How about the short play idea? Kami asked. Everyone getting to dance would be fun. Mina leaned back in sofa. Wouldn't dancing be a good idea? Shoko walked up to the table. What an unexpected supporter. The acid user gasped. 1 second. The dual quirk user borrowed Momo's laptop. There was one thing. I forget what it's called, where everyone get rowdy. Ah, this thing. She showed them a video of a music show. This cannot be a Todoroki idea. Kami's eyes popped out. When did you become a party person, Shoko? I'm not, Shoko said calmly. I thought Mina's suggestion was the best. And along those lines, wouldn't it be best if I suggest a place where everyone could have fun? It's an idea I got from the provisional license training course. What kind of training course was she in? Setsuna asked shakily. For some reason she pictured her dancing in a club. I see, Momo muttered. I'll only say it once, but wouldn't that be just as stressful as doing the play? Kanoko gulped. I can teach you guys. Mina gestured to Reiko. An amateur with awkward moves mastered the steps in one day. Ashido's instructions are the real deal, Reiko said flatly. Hold it, amateurs. The illustrator snapped her fingers. Dance is rhythm. In other words, music. The guests will need first-rate music. If we're talking about music. Toru get up to turn to look at Kyoka with everyone. What? Kyoka got flustered by the sudden attention. A live performance with Jiro-chan's instruments. The invisible girl hopped. Wait a minute. The punk cried out with her hands up. For what? Toru asked. Not only are you really good at teaching music, but when we were playing together, it was so much fun. Ashido, and everyone else, it's not exactly a hobby rooted in heroism, you know. Kyoka tapped her jacks together. For me, it really is just a simple hobby. Honestly, it's not something I could be proud enough about to perform. So that was it. Kami snapped her fingers in realization as the rocker jumped up. That thing today. It's so lit that you're so good with instruments. The punk was flustered. Right, girl, it's a skill that puts smiles on people's faces. Setsuna agreed. I think it's perfect for this gig. I understand both of your requests, but it's completely up to Kyoka herself. Momo stepped in between them with raised hands. If I don't do it, after this much commotion, the punk messed with her head with burning cheeks, it wouldn't be very rock and roll of me, right? How cute can you be? The greenette teased the flustering punk with a whistle. You'll make someone fall for you so hard if they see you like that. SS shut up. Kyoka shot her a look with pink blush. Then Class A's program ease. Mina jumped in with a wide grin, a live performance and dance with party space. The intern group returned to the dorm almost 30 minutes later and the creator approached Izuku in the kitchen as he take a yogurt out of refrigerator. Izuku, the class finally decides on what we should do for the culture festival. Oh, what is it? Izuku perked up with curious expression. A live music performance with dances. Momo answered. Really? The greenette widened his eyes in surprise, and everyone is all for it. The majority are. She nodded. We will discuss about it tomorrow after informing Mandalay-sensei. Oh okay, thank you for your help. Izuku smiled. No, I did nothing to help. Momo sighed softly. It was the others who come up with this idea. Why yes, but you have an final say and I trust you enough to make decisions. He said, if you accept this program then you must have seen some positive benefits that must help the students relieve their SS stress out of this program. You're right, the creator nodded once with a thoughtful hum before she looked at him again with a small tilt of her head. About the supplementary classes, how are you handling them? I'm doing great, but there are some problems that I can't get. Izuku sighed. Then would you like me to give you some tutoring? Momo asked with almost eager tone in her voice. Sure, I'll like that. He nodded. The creator's tutoring will greatly help him with his homework and get better understanding on some problems like math for example. Wonderful, I'll get some tea ready before we start. She chirped happily before she turned to the cupboard. My mother have sent me 5 boxes of yellow gold tea and I can't wait to try them with you. Izuku have never heard of that tea brand so he looked it up behind her back and his jaw just dropped at some certain info. It was late at night when Izuku come down to the common room to get a glass of water with sleepy eyes and he hears something go bump, startled him enough to jump. Wah. The bush-haired boy glanced around until he noticed something on the couch and he approached it to get a close look. Mount Lady. It was you sprawling out across the couch in casual attire and he can smell alcohol on her. Are you drunk? He hear elevator opening with a ding behind him and he looked back to see Kaoruko trudge out sleepy until she noticed him from the corner of her eyes. Izuku. Kaoruko blinked at him sleepily before she also noticed you, Mount Lady. It is you, Newt Mount Lottie. The drunk woman slurred her words as she rolled over and she would have fall off the couch if both teenagers haven't catch her in time. And why are you in my room? It's common our room, Mount, Izuku stuttered out as the teenagers struggled to get the pro-heroine up on her feet. You pressed her hand on the greenette's mouth with a childish pout and flushed face, Let's take her up to her room. The blue-skinned girl hoisted the woman's arm around her shoulders and the greenette gave her a nod as he tried to support the drunk woman up from other side. It was difficult to get to the elevator because you drunkenly kicked the air at random, nearly tripped them all down from the recoil and keep pulling the teenagers in closer with tight grip. The elevator opens with a ding after a minute, finally. The teenagers pull the heroine inside and Kaoruko press a button. Izuku, you need to stop doing risky things SSSS. You suddenly pulled Izuku close against her chest, causing the poor greenette to stutter out madly with red face. You're giving me heart attack or gray hair at this rot. SSS sorry, Mount, Izuku rasped out. She buried the greenette's head in between her chest and the boy flailing his arms around before Kaoruko pried them apart. Thank, Kaoruko. He stuttered out with red face. No problem. Kaoruko replied as they tried to retain the drunken woman in the elevator stop at the floor with a ding before they drag her out into the hallway. Which room is it? Izuku asked. It's one at the end. The bubble girl answered and they reached the door at the end of hallway with some struggles. She fished the key out from you then unlocked the door to bring her inside. If you promise to not do anything risky, you can F*** me when you turn 18. You looked straight into the greenette's eyes, fresh for you to smash. I'm a pure. Both blushing teenagers cried out in shock as the said woman collapsed on her bed and she yanked her shirt off. I'll wait outside. Izuku swiftly ran out of the room with heavy blush. Let mek know if I need help, Kao Ruko. Okay. Kaoruko hollered back as she helped the drunken woman change and make sure that she's lying on her side before the bubble girl exit the room to see blushing Greenette. She's sleeping. That's good. He coughed into his fist embarrassingly. Thank you for your help. Be back at you, Kaoruko replied with embarrassed blush as they head back to the elevator. For everyone's sakes, I hope she don't remember saying that. Me too. Izuku's blush deepened with a mutter. You will remember everything she did and said by the time she woke up, and she'll be so embarrassed that she holed up in her room for whole day. The next day in early morning, Izuku walk out of his dorm to meet up with Mirio at the gate, but he get an encounter on his way in form of his homeroom teacher. Good morning, Midoriya, Shino greeted him. Morning, Mandalay-sensei. Izuku was very surprised to see her this early in morning. Are you on way to see Eri? She asked. Hi. With Mirio. He nodded with a small wave. I'll be going. Wait. Shino stopped her student. Yes. Izuku blinked at her unsurely. I want to thank you, she said softly as he blinked puzzlingly, for saving Kota and caught Muscular. Oh, he jolted up as he waved his hands. You don't have to. What I did was what anyone would have. I know. Shino suddenly pulled him into a hug, but still, I want to thank you. Kota is all I get left. Thank you for saving him. Why you're welcome. Izuku replied with a blush, unsure if he should hug back, and he never get a chance to think about it as the Telef heroine break apart from him. Now you can go. She smiled down at him. Don't want your senpai to wait up any longer. Hi. He nodded rapidly before he jogged away from her with a wave. Bye, sensei. Bye. Shino waved back with a light chuckle. Izuku and Mirio step into a hospital room and they smile widely at the sight of Eri up. We're sorry we couldn't come see you earlier, Izuku said to her as they approached the bed, and she stared at them. Aizawa stand by the doorway in case if he need to use his quirk. It's an assortment of fruits. Mirio lift a basket. If you like them, then eat on up. Do you have a favorite fruit? Can I guess? It's peaches, isn't it? He placed the basket in her hands. You're kinda peachy, after all. It's apples, Eri said. Just like I thought. The buddy teenager laughed and they sit down on stool chairs before Izuku start to cut the apples in shape of rabbit. This whole time, even when I had my fever, I was thinking that, even while I was being saved, the little girl spoke slowly before she looked up to the Greenette. I didn't know your name. I only knew Lemillion-san, and I wanted to know. It's Midoriya Izuku, and my hero name is Deku. The Greenette answered. Deku is shorter, so it'll probably be easier to remember. Deku it is. My name is Deku. Hero name? She questioned. It's kind of like a nickname. Izuku answered. Deku-san. Eri muttered. Lemillion-san, Deku-san, and, that man with the glasses, everyone, got really hurt. All because of me. The teenagers almost jolt at the mention of Sir Night-Eye. They know no one told her about him because she might end up blaming herself. I'm sorry you all had to experience such painful things all because of me. She looked down. It's because of me that Lemillion-san, that you lost your powers. Eri-chan. Mirio patted her head. Nobody thinks you caused them painful things. Everyone's thinking something more like this. It's great that Eri-chan is safe. It's no use apologizing to people that aren't there. Let's take it easy. Everyone fought because they wanted to see your smiling face. The little girl stared at them for a moment before she tried to do something with her face, pressing her cheeks up to the teenager's confusion. I'm sorry, how do you smile again? The little girl muttered quietly. Izuku realized that she was still trapped in Chisaki's shadow and he wanted to do something to make her smile until an idea hit him. Aizawa-sensei, can't Eri-chan go out for even one single day? Izuku ran up to the underground hero. It's probably not impossible, however, Aizawa said, how should I put it? Where she'll be transferred to. Then, the Greenette cut him off. Can Eri-chan come, too? I see. The scruffy man crossed his arms with an arched eyebrow. To the cultural festival, Izuku said, can Eri-chan come, too? Cultural festival. Eri turned to the buddy teenager. It's a festival put on by our school. Mirio explained eagerly. The students set up events and foods for other students to enjoy. And apples. They'll probably even have candy apples. Candy apples? The little girl asked. It's a apple that's sweetened to the point of becoming candy. The older teenager explained. Sweetened? Eri drooled with shiny eyes. Let's talk it over with the principal. Aizawa took his phone out to make a call. Well then, Izuku returned to the girl's side. Eri-chan, what do you think? I've been thinking, ever since I was being saved. Eri reached out to hold Izuku's jacket, about the people who saved me, Lemillion-san and everyone else. I want to get to know them more. She looked up to the greenette. I'll tell you about us until you can't take it anymore. Mirio pumped his fist. Let's start working to get the go-ahead from the principal. I'm currently on suspension so I can be on constantly supervised date with Eri-chan, right? Date? The little girl asked. A honeymoon couple's outing. The buddy teenager replied. Honeymoon couple's outing? Eri asked confusingly. Senpai, what are you saying? Izuku looked at him funnily. Hey, you heard me. Mirio nudged him with a teasing smirk. A honeymoon couple's outing between you and your ha. They're not. The blushing greenette cut him off. They're my classmates and friends. Who happen to be all girls. The buddy teenager snickered and the freshman stuttered heavily as Eri looked between them in confusion. Aizawa have noticed that the little girl seemed to lean close to the greenette, even mostly take foods from him as if she feel little comfortable with him. Another thing to make note for his boss. We have so much to plan. Mina waved her arms up and down as she walked back to dorm the next day with most of her class, including Kaoruko. The intern group have more supplementary classes. Isn't it delightful to think about what it'll be like? Kami said. Yeah, Hyoka replied coolly and Katsuki overheard a conversation between two general students. Hey, did you hear? A teenager boy with elongated chin grunted. The Hero Department's Class A is doing a live show, apparently. All for us. The Department of General Education. Katsuki recognized them by the way they behave. Such a cocky crew. The general girl scoffed, even when they start all the conflict. The comment makes the explosive girl's blood boiled. The culture festival is just 1 month away. Momo said to everyone in common room an hour later, we don't have much time, so today I want to decide on a few things. First, music. Let's do something groovy. Mina grinned. Well, then shouldn't we do a song that's as well known as possible? Someone asked. One that we can dance to. Toru pumped her fists. If that's the case, we might consider 4 on the Floor. Hyoka loosed her tie, and club rock in the style of new rave. If we're doing dance music, we really should turning toward EDM, but everyone's set on playing instruments, right? She glanced around. Has anyone here ever played bass or drums? There was a silence. I figured. First, even though the backbone of the band is the drums, my main instrument is the guitar, so my drumming is, frankly, a work in progress. If I have to teach a beginner drums while I also have to practice, 1 month is way too tight. Ah, the pink-skinned girl looked to the explosive girl. That's right. You were forced to go music class a while back, weren't you? Katsuki grunted. Hyoka stuttered. How unexpected. Why don't you try playing the drums? Kami held the drumsticks up. Can't someone else do it? The violent girl walked away. Seems like it's too difficult. The illustrator pushed her button. Katsuki played the drum. Perfect. The rocker dropped her jaw. Amazing. Mina jumped up and down. We've got ourselves a talent. So it's decided. Setsuna grinned. Katsuki's on drums. The explosive girl realized that she have been duped. I ain't doing any of that pointless shit. Katsuki, please. Hyoka regained her sense. Or rather, if you do this for me, you'll be a good person. Nothing will come of it. Katsuki said rudely. You guys are selling this as a stress reliever for other departments, aren't ya? Doing shit like that all in the name of stress relief. What else is it other than self-gratification? People that sicken me don't deserve my courtesy. Hey, come on, the invisible girl shook her fist, talking that way. I'm telling you that what you guys are doing is indulging the enemy. The explosive girl shouted. No, But, Setsuna paused, actually, did we not consider that enough? Don't speak ill of us if you didn't even participate in the conversation. Shoko narrowed her eyes. Isn't it sickening? Katsuki growled. We aren't getting smacked down by the villains because we enjoy it. Everyone paused at that. Why do we have to concern ourselves with people's feeling? If you're all so intent on pleasing everyone, then just quit. Because I'm gonna fight. It's not about indulgence, it's a battle. If you're on board, then get ready. She turned to glare at them with slicing gesture. Everybody in UA, I'll knock you dead with my sound. The motivation isn't great, but she's gonna do it, all right. Toru hopped with swinging arms before she jumped onto Kyoka's side. We did it. Right, Kyo-chan. I'll do my best. Kyoka smiled. Anyone else? Habuko glanced around. Thanks to my etiquette training as a child, I'm quite familiar with the piano. Momo spoke up. Would that skill prove useful? Whoa. Mina thrust her fist up. Yaomomo's on keyboard, then. Synthesizers are essential to club music. Kyoka replied. Yaomomo, you'll be a huge help. I'll do my best. The creator clenched fists closer to her happy face. Hey, we said girls were gonna dance. Mina whined, but that's cute too, so it's okay. Since I'll be doing the bass, we just have guitar and vocals left. The rocker said, so everyone else will dance. Is this all it usually takes to get a party going? Itsuka cupped his chin with a hum. What about that thing that gets people rowdy? Shoko said. We have to add staging. The pink-skinned girl spun around. Yeah, that. The dual-haired girl nodded. Staging. Some teenagers questioned before the pink-haired girl showed them a picture on laptop. For example, this. Mina spoke. Things like sparklers, streamers, or a disco ball. Anything that's essential to creating the atmosphere is called staging. Let's make it look like a parade. The invisible girl clapped with some jumps, one that really involves participation. Did you say we're borrowing the gym? Kaoruko asked the vice president. Yes, Sosaki-sensei has already made the arrangements. Momo nodded. So, for example, the acid user lift her index finger up. Okako will make Shoko and Abara float, right? Then Abara will chip away at Shoko's ice. And then, since Kami will be the disco ball, the said girl turned to her with raised eyebrow, light will flutter all over like stardust. Team Snow Woman. Is this the teaming up we talked about before? Toru asked. Honestly, I think it's good. Momo replied, it's the perfect gimmick to get everyone hyped up. I'm the disco ball, Kami uttered. It's not good. If we're going through with this, we'll need someone running things behind the scenes. Okako entered the dorm with the intern group. Supplementary classes finally finished for today. Now we can fully participate. They were quickly catch up on everything, huh? She tilted her head. Jiro, you're not singing. Oh no, we still haven't, Kyoka said before she get cut off. If it's vocals, let us handle it. Setsuna said, we'll be a hit. In addition to being the disco ball, I can sing. The illustrator said. After a quick audition, no one picked the volunteers because their singing was poor. I also think it should be Jiro-chan. Toru said. 'Cause earlier when she was teaching me in her room, her singing was amazing. Hey, the rocker looked embarrassed. Don't make things more complicated. But she was forced to take the microphone. It's fine, it's fine. The invisible girl smiled encouraging at the punk. To disregard the cries of our souls. Kami complained with pout. What kind of people are you? What is this? I want to hear Jiro sing. Kaoruko smiled lightly. We're counting on you. The rocker started to sing and the three volunteers were on floor while most of the teenagers cheered for her. My ears are in heaven. Such a husky voice. The teenagers cheered. It's unanimous. Okay then, that's that. Kyoka quickly divert the attention to something else with heavy blush. Now. We need guitarists. 2 of them. I want to do it. Setsuna held her hand up. Playing an instrument is so cool. Me. Yui raised her hand up. I don't care if you want to do it. Katsuki huffed at them. Do you have the guts to get it done? I do, I really do. The brunette girl held her hands up with a chuckle. Dancing's good with me. Kaoruko scratched her cheek lightly with index finger. After all, I can't play any of instruments. Same here, Kanoko replied. I'll help out with the staging. Yui said flatly with expressionless face, and everyone hears someone playing a guitar very well before they look over to see. Pony. Mina gasped at the said girl as she strummed the guitar. You play. Why don't you say anything? Why yeah, that was amazing. Izuku said in awe. You never say anything about that before. Hee, I okay with it. Pony smiled sheepishly, but I struck with F chord. Chord. I'll help you out with that, Kyoka said, and the buddy girl beamed at her. The discussion went on for a quite long time until the roles have finally been decided and the now tired teenagers have no choice but to turn in since it's way too late. And here we are. Mirio led Eri to the school with Aizawa on Saturday. It's okay. Everyone's nice here. Welcome to UA. The little girl looked up to the giant building in awe, holding her bag. She followed them to a dorm. Doesn't seem like anyone's noticed yet. Mirio ducked behind the bush when he see Izuku with Tsuyu and Ochako. What sort of sudden entrance will get a laugh out of them? Tagata-senpai. Izuku spotted him and the buddy teenager just stare before the greenette gasped at the sight of Eri. Is that? Ochako gasped with Tsuyu. Eri-chan. The greenette said. No one see Mirio thrusting his rear out through the bush. Deku-kun. Eri moved up closer to the said teenager, holding the helm of his shirt. What a sweet little outfit. Tsuyu cooed over the little girl's appearance. So cute. The gravity girl threw her fist up in air. We got permission from the principal, Aizawa said as Mirio crawled out dejected for his failure of joke. Just to make sure she doesn't get shocked or panic, we're bringing her beforehand to get used to the place. Oh, the child from the internship. Itsuka recognized the girl's name before she bent down to smile at her. I'm Kendo Itsuka, nice to meet you. Eri hid herself behind the greenette's legs. You're a shy one, aren't ya? Mirio laughed. Yeah, a shy one. The smiling Oranguette nodded at that. In any case, I'm planning on walking around with UA with Eri-chan now. The buddy teenager turned to the bush-haired boy. Midoriya-kun, how about you come with? The greenette turned to the pink-haired girl. Well then, let's take a break. Mina smiled. Tea time. Sure. The greenette nodded before he walked off with Eri, Mirio and Aizawa as the little girl take Izuku's hand. Today's a day off, but because of the new boarding school model, lot of peoples are continuing with their preparations. Mirio said. Well, if it isn't Tagata. A older teenager boy called out to them. A kid. A teenager boy with horn gasped. What did you do during your break? Don't tell me you. Nah, that's his kid. Mirio pointed to Izuku with his thumb. Ooh, makes senses. The older teenager boy nodded. The class 1A is famous for having all-girl class with one only boy beside other things. What? Izuku squeaked with widened eyes. Okay, putting jokes aside, this year's class A is killing it. The older teenager chuckled as he gave them a flyer. You better come, too. Amazing. The greenette examined the paper. What a beautiful flyer. The group resumed their walking and the little girl looked around at teenagers running around, setting things up. They jumped up at appearing dragon. Wait. At first, Izuku thought it was one of his relatives making a surprise appearance, but it turned out to be a prop. Excuse me. Tetsu looked over. Wait, it's Midoriya from Class A. Wait, what? Nito peeked up, chit-chatting in a place like this. You got that much time on your hands. Eri-chan, are you okay? Izuku asked worriedly. I thought it was the falling lady. Eri muttered up to him. Oi. The copycat laughed. You ignorant me. You think that's okay? You guys are putting on some kind of live performance, I hear. I wonder how that'll go. This time I'll tell you straight up. We of Class B are gonna be better than you. Romeo, Juliet, and the Prisoner of Azkaban, The Return of the Kings. Class B's completely original super special fantasy play. Oh, it's a mashup of Romeo and Juliet, Harry Potter, Star Wars and Lord of Rings. The greenette said, covering the little girl's ears and turned her away from the laughing copycat. Better get ready. Nito shouted after a pause, we're gonna shame you to tears. I'll have handkerchief for you when it happens. Toguro knocked him out with a wood beam. He has more to say every time he speaks. Izuku said. Sorry, Sen's not here, so he went unchecked. Toguro picked the copycat up, dragging him away, and the greenette just blinked few times before they resumed their walking. Sorry for suddenly showing you Yue's dark side, Eri-chan. Mirio said to the confusing girl. Ah, that's right. She's fired up this year for Miss Khan. Huh. The greenette blinked with Eri, Miss Khan. The group enter the equipment room and Izuku don't know where to look at as Nejire floating in a very tight dress. Hey, why is Eri-chan and Izu-kun here? Nejire noticed them as she flew closer to them. Strange. Why, so exiting. Even her quirk is flashy. Izuku blushed while looking at somewhere away from her. Her face, too, and her PPP proportions. The blue-haired girl giggled at his reaction. We even have senpais like this, huh? The blushing greenette said. That's right, but listen. Nejire said with index finger up, are you listening? Each year, I've never won. There's this amazing girl, the champion of Miss Khan. Third-year Class G support team, the dazzling Zaki Bibimi-san. Amazing, Izuku muttered. This year, she's gonna appear in a commercial that'll make her fanbase blow up. Tamaki showed up before he curled up on floor, to perform in the presence of the public. Just thinking about it, ow, OWW, my stomach start to hurt. Like Yuyu says, the first step is just about making an appearance. Yuyu looked up at the mention of her name, but one way or another, it becomes both exciting and terrifying. That's why, this year, I'll definitely win. The blue-haired girl smiled widely. It's my last one, after all. You can do it. Mirio nodded. Yup. I can't wait for you to see me there. Nejire aimed her smile toward to Izuku, but he thought it was toward to Eri, and he was little puzzled by his buddy senpai's snickers on the way out. Next is, the buddy senior enters a certain room with the group, the support department. All of the grades hold a technology exhibition together. I know this one, Izuku said. They always get media attention every year. That's right. May suddenly pop up over his shoulder. The cultural festival is the support team's moment to shine. As that Hatsume, the greenette turned around to face her, and he yelped out at the sight of giant robot behind her. My adorable baby, child number 202. May gestured with her arms. Izuku noticed her appearance, really dirty. 'Cause getting in the tub is a waste of time. The pinkette grinned as the boys blinked. The ideas keep on gushing forth. It's so exciting. She turned to stroke her robot's leg. For the hero department, the sports festival was already the second place to garner attention. But, this time, it's us that have been given the opportunity to be the main attraction. A ton of companies will get a careful look at my little child. I better rear him to not be shy. She turned back to the greenette with a whiplash. More importantly, how have the Iron Souls been doing? If anything else comes up, please let me know, ASAP. Okay, thank you, the greenette muttered before the robot behind the pinkette exploded with smoking. Baby, May gasped. Wah, HASUME, again. The supporters screamed as they run around to put the fire out. Hatsume-chan, I'm sorry. Izuku hurriedly get Eri out of the room with Mirio in tow. Let's go, Eri-chan. After some sightseeing, the group stopped at the cafeteria and Eri was quietly sipping her juice through straw. Well, guess that's basically it. Izuku looked to her. Will you be okay with this? What did you think? I don't really know, Eri said meekly, but so many different people are trying their hardest, so I want to know how it will turn out. Both teenagers exchange a happy look before they jump up at a voice near them. We call that feeling excitement. They looked over to see Nezu with Midnight. The creature was eating cheese. Seems like it was worthwhile, don't you think? Principal Nezu. The greenette gasped. Midnight sensei. I'm also excited for the cultural festival. Nezu cleaned his mouth with a napkin. In order to throw the best festival they can, many of the students bring encouragement, excitement, and try to create a good time for everyone. Especially since we've gotten into various issues with police, Midnight said. Watch it, Kayama. The creature stopped her before he hop off the chair then walk away. Well, I'll be going now. You all enjoy the cultural festival to your heart's content. I can't say for sure, the R-rated heroine picked her food tray up, but the principal seems to have worked pretty hard getting this result after butting heads with a higher up. We've fortified security even more. Then, in the off chance that the alarm sounds, even if it's a false alarm, we'll immediately suspend activities and evacuate. That was the condition for holding the event. That's rough, Izuku muttered. Of course, I prepared very hard on my end so that doesn't happen. Midnight nodded. I even dispatched Hound Dog to watch over school premises. Dispatched. The Greenette boy gulped. Oh, yes, the R-rated heroine remembered something. Talk of Class A's program has even made it to the staff room. Work hard, young ones. We will, Izuku replied. What are you doing? Eri asked. We're doing a dance party with live music. He answered, I'll be dancing. He gave her a big grin. I'm doing my best so that you can have a fun time, too, Eri-chan. Please come see. He checked the time. Sorry. Break time is almost over, so I'll see you later. For your information, I'm looking forward to it, too. Mirio grinned. Deku, you're leaving already? The little girl asked bit sadly. Sorry, I've got practice. Izuku kneeled with a smile. On the big day, after Midoriya-kun is done, the three of us should wander around again. Mirio spun around. Deku, Lemillion, Eri looked up with a tiny wobbly smile. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, please do. The Greenette gave her a smile as he stood up. Bye, Eri-chan. I'll see you on the big day. They waved to each other as he left the cafeteria and it'd take him some time to reach the dorm. He barely reached to the doorknob before he hears someone calling him out. Little Bun. Izuku turned to see Mawata approaching him with a cheery wave. Fuwa-senpai. He gasped out in surprise. What bring you here? For you. Mawata jabbed thumb at herself with a smirk. This Oni-chan want to take you out for some fun at cultural festival. Izuku blinked rapidly with burning cheeks. Hang out. Yup. The Pinkett popped her lips. Hisashi have asked her to get close to his son to protect him from his classmates with bribery of sponge cakes. Too bad the pro hero have no idea that she have become interested in Izuku since she find him cute, adorable, fluffy and totally her type. Well, sure, he replied after a minute of thinking. He don't see any harm in hanging out with his senpai and he can ask her what's it like to work under his father along with other things like her quirk and hero stuff. Awesome. Mawata grinned. What's going on? They turned to see Kyoka and some girls peeking out behind the door. They have heard some noise outside and were checking it out of curiosity. Who's that? The punk gestured to the Pinkett with raised eyebrow. That is our senpai F from class 2A, Fuwa Mawata. Izuku gestured to the said teenager. And little Bun's Oni-chan. The Pinkett threw her arm around his shoulders with a grin and the girls blinked at that. Excuse me. Itsuka stared at her funnily with raised eyebrow. I've never seen you before until now. She's just calling herself that because she's interning under my dad. He blushed in embarrassment. That's right. Mawata chuckled at the girls as she stroked his hair with her hand to his embarrassment. I'm just stopping by to ask little Bun if he want to hang out with me for a bit during the cultural festival and he said yes. The girls jolt up at that as she gave them a teasing smirk before she mouthed at them while playing with his hair, mine. She snickered mentally as it seemed to lit some fire up under the girls, who gave her competitive glares. Seriously, another one. Kyoka sighed under her breath with tired expression, and a second-year senpai at that. Anyway, I gotta go. The Pinkett patted the bush-haired boy's back before she walked away from them with a wave. Later, little Bun, see you on this day. Later. Izuku waved back before he turned to his friends as they stared at him and it made him nervous for some reasons. Am I late for practice? No, you just arrive at perfect time. Mina said quickly. Come on, let's go. The group head out with the Greenette boy in tow. Izuku. Kyoka called out to the said boy and he looked up from his notebook curiously. They were in between their periods. Whenever you scribble furiously in your notebook, how do you organize it? She asked. Kyoka, you have a hero you admire too. He gasped. Nope, I just meant, Kyoka waved it off with her jack. How you, like, condense your notes. I always try to make the more important points easier to read. But if there's too much to write, I can't really condense it. She gave him her notebook and he looked through it. Advice to all the members. Izuku looked up to her. UWW wrote all this. Amazing. Everyone will be so happy. I do it just to hear someone say that. The rocker laughed with a faint blush. I always worry that people will call it a useless hobby, so I sort of go all out. And no, it's not useless, it's amazing. He shook his head rapidly. I know. Kyoka laughed again before she leaned forward on his desk. So, about the notes. Oh. Izuku took his notebook out for comparing. Can you take a look at these? He started to explain his method as the punk listened to him with some nods, asking him some questions in between, and her cheeks feel little heated for some reason. Midori, Mina said sternly with sunglass and black jacket a week later as dancing members stood behind her, not looking at him. You're fired. She pat the shocked boy's shoulder before she toss her sunglass and jacket off. By fired, we technically mean an enlistment from the staging team. They needed a hand, apparently. Why, me, Izuku stuttered. I told Eri-chan I'd dance. They explained to him that Kami need help to hold on a rope while casting lasering disco ball. So in other words, being fired means getting my stage time shaved off. My bad. Kaoruko scratched her cheek. Sorry to make you practice for nothing. But can you please do this for us? It'll be good for everyone. As long as I have a turn dancing, I wouldn't be lying to Eri-chan, he muttered before he gave them a nod. If it's for a good cause, understood. Thank. The bubble girl smiled. Thank you, you're a saint. Abara said. Totes. Kami beamed at him with thumb up as she bat her eyelash at him flirty. Can't wait to do stuff with you in back. Kami, the vine-haired girl shot her a stern look to stop her double entendre. Izuku, you sure changed from day one in a good way lately. Suyu said with index finger on her chin, you hardly stutter. Oh yeah, that's right. Itsuka agreed with the frog girl. Hey, yeah, I guess so. Izuku scratched his head with a light smile before he noticed the time from clock. Oh, I gotta go. He gave them a quick wave as he jogged out and some girls blink at that. Alright, he have a private training. The Oranget recalled, feeling very disappointed mentally because it feel like they have been spending less time together lately due to everything that's going on right now, and it make her feel more. Oh, did he come up with something new? Kami tilted her head, like new move or something to help with his quirk. Itsuka simply shrugged her shoulders before the girls resumed their discussion and light practices. I'm beat. Pony stretched her arms out at night. Yo, asshole, you're playing too fast. Katsuki yelled, follow me. No, it's because you'll keep improvising on your own, it's messing everything up. Setsuna huffed. Kyoka, you teach just like a professional. Momo smiled at the said girl while making tea. You got Setsuna, the amateur, to learn the chord progression. It wasn't that impressive. Kyoka waved it off until she smells something good. Hey, today's tea smells really good. I know, right? The creator held a tea box up to her cheek cheerily. I got it from my mother. It's the Phantom Black Tea, Imperial Golden Tips. Please try it, everyone. I don't quite understand what it is, but thanks as always. I don't quite understand either, but it's so bourgeois. Deku-kun, Ochako called out to the Greenette, you're not having any of Yaomomo's tea. She screamed out as Izuku swiped rapidly in his phone, mumbling something about All Might and support items. He just found out about it from Toshinori himself when they were having a secret training with his OFA quirk after a meetup with Mei. Oh, shoot, Izuku accidentally tapped a random video and it showed a messy teacup. When and what kind of tea does the listener drink? The voice spoke. A video on black tea. The gravity girl passed the tea to him, how timely. Ah, thank you. The Greenette take it. For me, I always drink before and after work, and I choose the brand based on the amount of work I have. The speaker picked the messy tea up to reveal his face. This is the premium black tea, Royal Flush. Do you know what this means? That gentle, the man who can difference, is awesome. The next video coming out will be a wake-up call. Not just to listeners but to society as a whole. I sincerely hope that you wait. The video ended with a woman's squeal. So short, Ochako muttered. This person, Izuku realized. Is he famous? The gravity girl asked. His like ratio is quite low. I'm not very familiar with him either, but, he muttered, he's an infamous villain partly due to his troublesome behavior. Though the fact that he's managed to somehow upload videos of himself without getting arrested is impressive. I wonder what he's planning next. It's the night before the cultural festival and the Class 1A were doing one last rehearse. All right, they're closing up soon. Mina hollered to the dancers and band, let's take it from the top. Clap, tap, tap. The dancers followed the beat, clap, tap, tap. Ha, now, Kami, you're at center. Midori, you're off stage. They obeyed her. Midori, your movements are still sluggish, so, the boys shuffled clumsily, wake up. I was worried at first about this performance thing since we're all amateurs, Reiko said, but now, both the band and the dance team have come a long way, haven't they? Thanks in no small part to mind being such a super intense coach. I guess when you love something, you give it your all. Kanoko agreed. I'm starting to get nervous. Momo gulped. Don't do those weird ad-libs in the real performance, okay? Kyoka told her band to be safe, one of us might get thrown off by it. Just who exactly are you referring to? Setsuna huffed together with Katsuki. You too. Yui deadpanned. And then Midori will quickly go from the stage up to the ceiling, set up Kami, and suspend him from a rope. Mina said as Izuku hoist Kami up, and then all that's left is. Isn't it? Hound Dog slammed the door open with growl, 9 already. Students are bark 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 only allowed in here until 9. Yikes. Sorry. The teenagers quickly run back to their dorm, going back now. I can't sleep. Setsuna ran around with a loud scream. Quiet, Mina shouted, some people are sleeping. I wonder if everyone else will enjoy this as much as we hope. Kashiko wondered. I don't think you should think about it that way. Kyoka said with her hands tucked under her thighs, feeling shy or nervous won't do us any good. We just have to enjoy ourselves once we get on that stage. Weren't you the one who was super shy? Toru teased. That was different. The embarrassed rocker waved it off. What you said makes a lot of sense, Kyoka. Izuku said while checking supplies with Kami. Yup, Kami added, focusing on others is the best way to help ourselves. I see. The greenette noticed the ropes, the rope is getting frayed. We've worn it out from practicing so much. The illustrator said, it's the proof of our love. Yeah, Izuku quickly caught himself, no, this is dangerous. Sorry I didn't notice earlier. He paused. Wait, did you said low? Why don't you ask Yaomomo to make one? Kami cut him off. Yaomomo already went to sleep. Mina rejected the idea, don't treat her like a toolbox. I'll buy one, first thing in the morning. The greenette said, I have morning training anyway. And incidentally, I also have some other stuff I want to buy. Wait, we're on at 10. Setsuna pointed out, the store opens around 9, doesn't it? The home center that's 15 minutes from UA opens at around 8. Kyoka said. That's cutting it pretty close. Mina got up, we better hit the sack soon. Well then, we'll probably do this again tomorrow. Kami flashed a thumb up, but let's get in an early cheer, Night Owl Squad. She pumped his fist up as most teenagers cheered loudly, let's do this. In the early morning, Izuku was running to the entrance after picked up latest supporting gloves from Mei, and little did he know is that he'll run into Gentle and his partner on the way. Let's find our calm and serene composure. Momo take a deep breath to calm her nerves down as everyone get ready for the show. Calm and serene, Pony repeated. Hey, Katsuki, put on your t-shirt. Kyoka called out, we made it just for the occasion. The dancing dress fit perfectly. Mina posed in the dancer outfit. Even though you just touched up one off the rack. Kashiko said. Izuku's not here, is he? Shoko carried a box. He went out to buy rope. Kami reminded her. What could he be doing out this late? The dual-haired girl said. Shoko. The pink-skinned girl called out, let's do our final dress rehearsal already. What, indeed, the illustrator hummed. Good morning. Hazashi shouted into the microphone as the students become exciting listening to the PA. Hey, guys. All of our preparations have been for this day. Today's a day to set aside your worries and cut loose. Forget about your coursework and go wild. With that, everyone join me in saying, the UA Cultural Festival begins now. There was some smoke fireworks going off and the students start to exploring the campus or get ready to work. Midoriya did what? Shino asked. What was he thinking going out to buy something on his own? Habuko said worriedly. It's starting. Toru waved her torso around and Eri looked worried at that before she take hold of Mirio's sleeve. Is Deku going to dance? Eri asked. Yes, he will. Mirio led the little girl to join the crowd and they wait until the curtains start to moving, look like it's staring. It's here. Go first years. Yaoyorozu. A group chanted the rich girl's name. Eri-chan, can you see? The buddy teenager lifted the little girl up on his shoulder for better view. Yeah, Eri's eyes lit up at the sight of Izuku in the lineup. The greenette tried his best to stay calm while not looking at couple scolding glares from few girls who were so worried for him, he barely make it in time. On the stage, Kyoka take a deep breath as Katsuki bring the drumsticks down to smash the drum set, firing a booming sound that jolt everyone in the audience. The band start to play the music loudly and skillfully as the dancers took off before Kyoka shouted, "Thanks for coming." Oh, someone said in the audience as they watched the impressive perform, this ain't bad. They're in perfect sync. Someone else commented on the dancers' steps. Here it comes. Mirio grinned as Izuku tossed Kami up in air. The illusion user fired her quirk up to give a light show to the cheering audience. The big stunt's over. The buddy teenager gasped. So short. It's over. Eri asked. But look, Mirio said as some teenagers on stage use their quirks, over there. Their quirks combine together to create a wild and elegant stage. Who want to have some fun? Ochako jumped into the air with Tsuyu's tongue around her torso. Put your hands up. She slapped some hands and some people float up in air with safe tape. Yeah, Eri threw her hands up with bright wide grin then point at the show, looking down to Mirio. Yeah. Are you seeing that, Night Eye? Mirio grinned back with tears. Midoriya. Eri is finally smiling. I wish I could have seen Class B's play. Toru sighed as she heard some comments from the bypassing students about Class 1B's show. The musical show have ended a while ago but they have to do the cleanup first before they can go exploring the campus. We had no choice. Setsuna shrugged her shoulders. Gotta do the cleanup properly. They looked over to Izuku looking down slightly with Toshinori at distance. Is he getting scolded? The teenagers watch on as couple teachers join the group before Hound Dog suddenly toss Izuku over to them. Whoa, she yelped out. It's a flying Midoriya. Ah, here comes Senpai. Pony grinned at the sight of buddy teenager with little girl. You, nice job back there. Mirio waved and Eri ran up to Izuku immediately. At first, I was scared because it was so loud, but HTEN everyone started dancing like, hop, hop. Eri said excitingly to smiling bush-haired boy, and then the light went flash and Deku disappeared, but, then everything got cold, like, whoosh. She lifted her hands up above her head, and then the light was spinning around, and that lady's voice was like, wah, and her hands went down, I said, wah, too. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself. Izuku laughed with joyous tears. Class A. Someone called out, nice work. We had a great time. All right. Mina grinned. Thanks, dudes. We're sorry. Two general students suddenly shouted out. We went to watch because we were going to ridicule you guys. They shuffled off. Okay. The pink-skinned girl looked at them oddly and no one noticed Katsuki's smug expression. So those were the stressed-out people Sosaki-sensei was talking about, right? Kanoko asked. I guess this means we got through to them, huh? Hurry and clean up the rest of this ice. Abara said. Ah, sorry. Setsuna said. Oh, we should go to the Miss Khan show after that. Kendo. The announcer said as Itsuka break through several boards with a hand chop. Her stunning dress is torn as she demonstrates her martial arts. A fusion of strength and beauty. What a wonderful performance. The Oranget leave the stage as the Class 1A were surprised at her entry before another one take her place while riding a giant head vision of herself, the queen of the beauty contest. A third year from the support department. With her high-level ingenuity, she shows off her face to the crowd. A superb performance indeed. What is that thing supposed to do? Eri asked on Izuku's shoulder. You guess is as good as mine, Mirio said before Najire appear on the stage and she take off in the sky, dancing a bit to everyone's awe. A magical dance in midair. The announcer shouted over the applauding audience. I was completely drawn in. And now next up, you can cast your votes here. The results will be announced at 5. That concludes our event. The people start to cast their votes and it will end in Najire's victory in few hours. Tonight's gonna be productive. Mineta shuffled away with a lewd giggle. Class C's Ghost Labyrinth looks badass. Kami looked up from the foldable map. Wanna go? I'm in. Mina grinned. Me too. Reiko said. No way. Kyoka shivered. No way. They've got an obstacle course too. Kaoruko said. Let's have a little completion. Crepes. Ochako sing-song. Itsuka. Izuku gasped out as soon as he see the said girl approaching them. I don't know you were taking part in Miss Con. I want it to be a surprise. Itsuka smiled. So what do you think of me up there? You were so amazing, he said. Yeah, and really pretty. The Gravity Girl added and some girls agreed with positive responses. Oh, was I? The Oranget glanced at the Greenette with a small lean and his eyes snap away from her with red face. She was still wearing the dress and it gave him an accidental glimpser at her cleavage. Why yeah, you look really pretty, be beautiful and graceful on stage. Izuku stuttered out. Never notice a light blush across Itsuka's cheeks with a light smirk. Itsuka did it in hope to get him to notice her more than a friend and she thinks she have successfully planted a seed in him. Are you going around the festival in this getup? Setsuna asked. Nah, I'm gonna change. Itsuka replied. We're going to buy some crepes. The Greenette boy informed the Oranget as Eri hold his hand. Get it. The Oranget walked away to change her clothings. Shall we go now? Suyu looked down at the little girl. Yes, I want to try crepes. Eri looked up with a smile. What do you think of it? Itsuka asked the little girl as the small group eats crepes at a wooden table. It's yummy, Eri said bubbly with some creams on her lower face, which Izuku wiped it clean with napkin. Hey, there are some games you can play to win prizes. Mirio grinned down at the little girl. Want to go there? Yeah, the little girl nodded rapidly and they set out to find some game stalls. Deku. They heard a bark before they look over to see Katsuki stomping toward to them at high speed. Kachan. Izuku jumped and before everyone know it, the explosive girl shoved something into his hands roughly before she stomped away from them. I won it but I had this shit so you can have that. Katsuki disappeared from their sight and Itsuka have noticed with narrowed eyes that her ears were burning red. Have what? The Greenette boy looked down at item in his hands with others to see that it's an All Might figurine with one fist up. Oh wow, I don't have this one. I gotta thank her when I see her again. How does she know that you don't have this one? Suyu asked suspiciously. Maybe she guessed it. Izuku replied and they resumed their walking to the game stalls. Izuku was enjoying watch the obstacle race between some of his friends and students until he hear a familiar voice. Ah, little bun, there you are. Fua-sen. Izuku turned with a startled jump before his face turned red as Mawata stride up to him, in French-maid outfit with black stockings. Wa. My class is doing a maid cafe. The snickering Pinkett explained simply. Oh, I see. The Greenette boy cleared his throat with coughs, trying his best to keep his eyes up. You guys mind if I take him off your hands for a bit? Mawata asked Mirio, Eri, Ochako and Suyu. I'm taking him to my class. Sure, have fun. Mirio chuckled and the Pinkett quickly dragged the yelping Greenette boy away before he or anyone can say anything. I is TT that how you do with others. Izuku stuttered nervously with atomic red blush. Nope, just with you. Mawata giggled teasingly as she held a furkful of omelette out to him. Say my little bun. The Pinkett was leaning against his side with one leg across his laps and the Greenette's face burned hotter when he hears some amusing chuckles in background. They were sitting in the corner in Mawata's classroom and almost out of sight from everyone but some of her classmates. He opened his mouth to take a bite. It's GGG good. The greenette feel like he has been in here for around 20 minutes, which it was. Oh really? Mawata's grin widened. I'm glad to hear that because I made it. Really? Izuku gasped out. Yeah, she confirmed before she leaned in to whisper into his ear, and guess what? You're the only customer I made for. He don't know why but there's something in her tone that make him blush harder. Deku, are you in here? Ochako called out as soon as she opened the door with a slide with Eri and her friends looking inside. I'm here. The blushing greenette swiftly stood up with a bolt, causing Mawata to get off him in process. You look like you just got caught in some kind of love affair. Mawata chuckled at his reaction. Are you done here or should we come back later? Kaoruko raised her eyebrow slightly at him. The boy also notices that Nejire was with the group, rambling on with endless questions to Suyu and couple girls. Izuku looked at the pinkett. You can go. The second-year teenager waved him off with a chuckle. Thank for hanging out with me. We should do that more. Why yeah, we should. He nodded as he went to join his friends. Bye, Fua-senpai. Later, Little Bun. Mawata waved with a light chuckle. Izuku and the group were wandering around again, visiting some classes until they hear his name called out. Izu. They looked over to see Pony waving at them with Habuko and Kashiko near a classroom, over here. Oh, Pony, Habuko, Kashiko. Izuku approached them with Eri and his friends. We're going into the ghost labyrinth, do you want to join us? Kashiko gestured to the Class C's room. I'd love to, but, the greenette boy looked down at Eri worriedly because the little girl looked scared by the haunting set of Class C. Don't worry, I'll look after her while you go inside. Mirio gave him a thumb up with broad grin. We'll wait out here. You sure? Izuku asked as the buddy boy nodded. Thank, Mirio. He turned back to three girls. Then yes, I'll join you guys. I'm coming too. Nejire hopped over eagerly. We'll sit it out. Itsuka waved while the rest of group share same reply. They already have went through it early. Let go. Pony grabbed the greenette's hand to pull him into Class C's maze eagerly with other three girls. The walk was calm for a while as the group make couple turns in the maze until they get jump scared by a bloody mummied head that break through wooden wall with a loud chomp. Everyone let a blood-curdling shriek out as they hug each other and Izuku find himself in middle with Nejire in back and Pony in front, Habuko and Kashiko on both sides. The greenette can't help but to blush madly at the feeling of certain assets squishing against his body from all directions and they refuse to let him go as they receive more jump scare one after one. Izuku swear he hear many, lucky bastard, die, normies, and similar curses all the way to the end of the maze. His legs did give out for different reason when he get out. After that, the group went on to enjoy the rest of the culture festival. Thanks a lot for today. Mirio said as Eri looked down. It was fun. The culture festival have come to end 20 minutes ago. Yeah, Eri muttered little sadly. Eri, look at me. Izuku kneeled down before he pull a candy apple out to her, surprise. A candy apple. The buddy teenager gasped as the greenette gave him another apple. Were they selling those? I looked everywhere. After I looked at the program, I thought they might not have any, so when I was out shopping, I bought all the ingredients, which was easy enough, aside from actually making them. The greenette explained. Well, don't worry. Aizawa looked down to the little girl. You'll meet again soon enough. It's even sweeter. Eri smiled happily after taking her first bite of the candy apple. I'll make more for you, so you can look forward to that. Izuku waved to them as they leave and Eri keep glancing over her shoulder to him until they disappear from his sight. The bush-haired boy walks back to the campus, wondering when he'll see her again. Yue is in charge of looking after her now. Aizawa gestured to Eri, who was sitting on the sofa in Class 1A's dorm with Big 3 around her, and the little girl smiled bright as soon as she see Izuku. Most of teenagers were out for training, studying or personal reasons. Talk about seeing each other again soon. Izuku cried out in pure shock. What's the full story here? Yay, Eri-chan. Ochako smiled down to her. Hello there, Eri-chan. Kaoruko smiled softly. Excited to be with you all. Eri smiled timidly. You remind me of my sister now. Suyu peeked over the sofa. Nice to meet you again. She can't be in the hospital forever, that's why. Aizawa drawled before he beckoned Izuku out with Mirio and they went outside with Ochako, Kaoruko and Suyu. It seems like Eri was abandoned by her parents. It also looks like her nearest blood relative, the boss of Eightfold, has been brain dead for a while. So currently, she has no place to go. And also, you may heard this from senseis but, it's regarding her horn, the source of her quirk. Mirio added. We heard it had shrunk and everything looked good. The bubble girl said. Until it suddenly grew again, albeit only a little. The buddy teenager said. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. Ochako think back to Eri's episode. That's the reason her transfer location became UA and not a foster home. Aizawa said, I'll be near here to help out, monitoring her situation and helping her work out a way to accommodate her overwhelming power. Aizawa, seems like you're taking on a lot of extra work. The frog girl said. That's where I, friend of Eri-chan and student on hiatus, come in. Mirio posed, while you guys are in classes, I will look after her. That make the intern group confused by his comment. If Eri-chan's heart and body can become stable then maybe, Tamaki showed up with hand on Mirio's shoulder, the return of the peerless hero might not be so far away. What do you mean by that, while we're in classes? Izuku asked. Here, Aizawa handed him an envelope file. What's that? The greenette opened it to take the papers out before he froze as he read it. Congrats, you are now legally Eri's father. The scruffy man clapped nonchalantly. Don't worry about the costs because UA will cover it on your benefit and her room is located on second floor on girl's side. We broke a wall to connect both sides so you and she have easy access. Wait. Izuku cried out as the girls looked equally shocked. How is this possible? I mean, I'm a high school student. Not to mention, I don't have. Don't question it, Aizawa muttered. Just accept it and carry on. Also, Eri is more comfortable with you than anyone else and it's agreed that she's better off being with you. The UA will do their best to help you out with raising a child. He walked away from them with a wave. Go back inside. Bye. Wait, the shocked greenette stuttered. Wonder how the hell can it happen to him? Nezu crackled like a madman as he leaned back in his comfy chair, enjoying the show from the monitor on the wall. Kami, he loved to *****ing with humans and that is the best idea he ever come up with. When the rest of the girls come back to the dorm, they immediately notice Eri sitting next to Izuku on sofa and they were confused when they see that he was staring off with gawked face as the little girl just beamed at them. What's the matter with Izuku? Kami tilted her head slightly, giving Eri a little wave at same time. That, Suyu held the papers out to them and the girls leaned forward to take a close look as they read it before almost everyone froze with widened eyes and dropped jaws. Exactly our reaction when we saw it. Wait. How? Setsuna cried out. How is it allowed? I mean, we're in high. Aizawa-sensei said not to question, accept it and carry on. The frog girl replied. He also said that UA will help Izuku raising Eri-chan. Kaoruko glanced at the still shocked boy worriedly with small sweat drop. I'm Midoriya Eri. Eri chirped happily. Yes, you are. Ochako patted the happy girl's head softly before she noticed something. Mina, where are you going? I'm going to get my jacket. Mina said flatly with blank expression as she entered the elevator, and eat it. The doors closed on her to some girls' confusions. I'm gonna filming her. Kyoko walked to the elevator. Gee ga. Izuku seemed to snap out from his shock as he started to take his phone out with some scrambles. I gotta make some calls. He glanced between the girls and his now adopted daughter. See, can you guys keep eyes on Eri-chan while I go on? We get it. Itsuka wondered how his parents will handle the news, while bracing herself for Hisashi's reaction. Most girls were in same boat and the greenette boy thanked them, moving to another place for privacy to make a call. Eri-chan, do you want to play a game? She bent down to the little girl's eye level with a light smile. Yeah, what game are we playing? Eri swing her legs up and down excitingly. We have some board games so let's go and pick one out. The oranguette lead the little girl to the common closet. With Izuku, He was waiting with his ringing phone until someone finally picked up. Mom. Izuku muttered. Hi, Izuku. Inko's voice spoke. I'm so glad that you're calling me. How's school? It's going great. Izuku gulped. Mom, is Dad there? No, he went out for one of these fancy meetings, the one that you always watch every year. His mother hummed thoughtfully before her tone became very concerned. Why? Did something happen? Mom, are you sitting down right now? He asked nervously with sweats. Izuku. Inko's voice breathed out. Did something bad happen? And no, it's not be bad, Izuku muttered. I think. Then did you get a girlfriend? His mother gasped happily. Who is it? How many? No, I don't. He squeaked with red face. No, I somehow have an adopted daughter now. He glanced at the papers in his hand, and it's all legal. There was a long pause. Say what? Inko's voice uttered and her son quickly explained everything with some struggles. So I have a granddaughter and her name is Eri. Why yeah, Izuku replied nervously. While I'm surprised by this wonderful news, I'm really happy for you and I can't wait to meet her. His mother said with a happy tone in her voice, I'm going to give your father a call and tell him the news. Izuku, if you need any help with Eri or have any questions, just give me a call anytime. I will. He blinked at her reaction. She seemed to take the news pretty well. I have to go, a lot of calls to make in your place. Inko's voice said, bye, Izuku, love you. Love you too, Mom. Izuku said before his mother hangs up and he put his phone down with another blink. Papa. The greenette boy jumped at Eri's voice before he turned around to look down at the smiling girl as she ran up to him. Come play game with us. Oh, okay. He let the little girl drag him toward to the table where some girls were setting board game up before he realized something. Did she just call me? He became more confused when Mina exited the elevator with Kyoka as they head to the kitchen. The former was gnawing on her jacket while the latter recorded it with an amusing smirk. The group play the game for few hours and chat with the little girl until Achoo! Everyone jumped before their heads turned to see Yui rubbing her nose. Catch a cold? Ochako asked with some concern. Everything all right? No, I'm fine. Yui replied flatly. Maybe someone is talking about you. Toru said. A fan, maybe. We get a lot of fans after the culture festival. True. The gravity girl hummed thoughtfully and the expressionless girl merely shrugged her shoulders uncaringly before they hear front door opening, causing everyone to look out at the foyer to see. Locking on with sparkling eyes. Shino grinned. Here to lend a helping paw. Tomoko grinned widely. Coming out of nowhere, Yawara flexed with box in his hands. Stingingly cute and catty. Ryuko posed with her teammates. We're the wild cats, off version. The hero team was in civilian clothing and they were accompanied by Kota in background. Cats. Mina ran up to them with some girls. It's been a while. You all look well, my little kitties. The former search user grinned widely at the teenagers with her hands up in air. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to protect you back then. The flexible man said to the greenette boy. It's okay. Izuku waved it off with both hands. We're all doing well. Kyoka smiled. They brought cat paw buns. The acid user announced to the teenagers with box above her head as most girls start to chant. They brought cat paw buns. Kota-kun. Izuku beamed at the boy. Long time no see. He shook the little boy's hands happily. Thanks for the letter. I've been treasuring it. It's. Kota looked away bashfully. Whatever. Midoriya. Look. Shino pointed at shoes in the foyer with a teasing grin. Hey, stop it. The little boy cried out as the greenette boy and some girls noticed red shoes in the foyer. He picked it himself. The Telef woman said, it's gotta be red, he said. Hey. Kota waved his arms up and down embarrassingly. That's not true. Looks like we match now. Izuku chuckled lightly with a grin and the little boy just smiled bashfully. By the way, who's that? Yawara gestured to Eri with his head. The little girl have been holding onto the back of Izuku's pant leg the whole time as she hid behind him out of shyness. Oh, that is Midoriya Eri, the greenette boy blushed. Ooh, your little sister is so cute. Tomoko cooed at the little girl and she was about to say something but. And no, she's my adopted daughter. Izuku corrected her and 3 out of 4 adults and 1 little boy just stare at him blankly before their heads turn to Shino, who refused to meet their eyes with some small sweat beads on her cheek. Shino, Ryoko gave her an funny look, what the heck is with your class? What have you been teaching? Hey, I was surprised like you were when the staff got this news from Nezu. Shino defended herself. Why are you guys here? Momo asked to change the topic. We came to celebrate her reinstatement. The buddy woman gestured to the search user. Reinstatement. Someone gasped, congratulations. Ragdoll, you've returned. The greenette boy looked at her. Weren't you on a break from active duty after? I'm not returning. Tomoko swung her fists up and down. I'm going to be supporting the 3 of them as an office lady. Call me the OL cat. Then why rejoin at this time? The creator asked curiously. It'll be broadcasted soon, but this time, in the second half of the year, we were 411th on the JP Hero Billboard chart. The Telef heroine answered. You guys were ranked 32nd last time. Izuku gasped. So you're trying to climb back up the rank? Ochako guessed with a small tilt of her head. Wrong, meow. The former search user replied. We were shocked that, despite being completely inactive, we're still in the triple digits. In terms of approval ratings, we've always stood out. Yawara said. It means there are fans who are waiting for us. Ryoko added. We can't be complacent with where we are now. Tomoko bent her upper body sideways with hands above her head. As that's so, the gravity girl blinked. Billboard, huh, Kashiko hummed. Oh that's right, the second semester rankings haven't been presented yet. Mina said. Probably because so much has happened. Setsuna muttered, a Billboard chart without All Might, huh. Wonder how it'll turn out. It'll be on in a bit. Shoko informed them as she turned the television on before she looked at the cat team. Are you going to stay and watch? No, we're just stopping by to say hi. Shino shook her head gently with a light smile as her team and nephew get ready to leave. See you tomorrow. You too. Some girls and Izuku replied as the adults and Kota left. What is Hero Billboard? Eri looked up to Izuku curiously. Are you on it? No, I'm, not old enough. Izuku chuckled sheepishly as everyone gathered in front of the television. Oh, but you're going to be on it one day. The little girl sat at his side. Why yeah, one day. He gave her a smile before they hear the announcer speaking from the presentation site live in Camino. Number 10, 1 rank down from 9 last time. The announcer said, Dragon Hero Yukio. Oh, your aunt just dropped 1 rank. Toru said, Falling Dragon Lady is aunt. Eri looked up with an innocent blink as the announcer continued on with the ranks. Yeah, she's my relative. Izuku said, that make her your great aunt. Suyu said to the little girl. Number 7, a significant leap. The announcer said, the up-and-coming star who won't stop climbing. Kamui Woods. Some girls spot Mount Lady grumbled in background on television while denying the dating rumor. Number 6, the orthodox man safely keeps his place. The shield hero, Crust. Number 5, the determined bunny ranks up. The rabbit hero, Maruko. Ooh, a heroine in top 5 of JP Billboard chart. Kaoruko whistled as the announcer introduced Edgeshot as number 4 then absent Best Jeanist as number 3, don't she debuted a while ago? Yes, Shoko confirmed. Number 2, he claims to take it easy, but he's quite ferocious. The announcer said, with tremendous momentum, he swoops into second place. The winged hero, Hawks. And now, from just the temporary number 1 hero to his new place today as the genuine number 1 hero. At last, the flame hero, Endeavor. Hey, Shoko, how does it feel to have your dad as number 1 hero now? Mina nudged the said girl teasingly with her elbow as the HPSC president gives speech on television. The dual-haired girl uttered flatly. And now, statements from each individual. The announcer said. Thank you very much, Ryoko said to the interviewer. However, the truth is that I would have liked to decline this rank if it was possible. There were more lives that I could have saved. I will continue to strive to be a hero more befitting of my rank. Kaoruko and the intern group become slight saddened by the reminder of the loss. I understand, Yukio, Crust cried, that anguish in your heart. That feeling of self-reproach. We all must rise up to the challenge. Go, Yukio, let's do our best. He's sure loud as always. Habuko's sweat dropped, had seen him on television before. Yeah, Izuku muttered as the heroes gave their statements to the interviewer until. Who care about any of that? Hawks just throw everyone off with his comment. Let's see, if we're going just by approval ratings, Best Jeanist would be first due to the extra boost of support during his recovery. I would be second, Edgeshot would be third, Endeavor would be fourth and so on. I think approval ratings are the most important metric right now. Is this the time to be clinging to the past? Is it still okay to uphold the status quo? We no longer have a symbol. Why are people who can't even earn a higher rank than me? He smirked, being so tame and subdued on a day that's supposedly deemed a turning point. Please, speak more like real heroes. That's all from me. So, next in line. With lower approval ratings than me, the number one. He gestured to Endeavor. Geez, how's he gone to follow up after that? Setsuna muttered. Apart from what that novice just tried to stir up, Endeavor spoke, there is not much to say. Just watch me. That was just a simple thing to say and everyone in the audience just stare in silence as if they have been stunned. That'll do. The body splitter shrugged her shoulders at that before they jump up at the loud blood-curdling shriek on the television and the camera swiftly spun around to show Hisashi standing up with phone next to his head, his body tremble violently in shock. My Cinnamon bun have what? Hisashi screamed with widened eyes, I'm a grandpa. He crushed his phone in pieces out of shock. Who corrupt and knock my Cinnamon bun up. He spun to his sidekicks, boys, get your weapons. Our little boss is what? One of Yakuza-like man cried out before his face twisted into pure rage like his boss. Who dare to corrupt our little boss's purity. The Draco hero and his sidekicks ran off with roars. D-Dad, everyone, Izuku buried his red face in hands embarrassingly as the girls paled. Dad. Eri looked up to her adopted father in confusion. T, the man that just screamed on television as H his daddy, making him your G grandpa. Ochako smiled shakily. Oh, Eri blinked. Yukio, where are you going? Crust's voice asked as everyone looked back to the television to see the number 10 heroine walked away with a smile on her face. Helping my big brother. Ryuko just smiled sweetly and some girls feel shivers running down their spines for some reason. Itsuka quickly turned the television off before she turned to the group. I'm going and hide in my room, Itsuka muttered before she walked away at high speed, following by the rest of sweating girls. They don't want to be present in common room when they show up and their worries were all for nothing because they never reach the UA, thanks to the security and Inko calling her sister-in-law. The next day, most teenagers were relaxing in the common room as some go over their homework and the rest just watch a show. Hey, where's Eri-chan? Toru asked Izuku curiously. Ah, in her room with Pony. Izuku answered, they're drawing and watching an anime together. Ah, nice. The invisible girl said before the show suddenly cut off by an breaking news of Endeavor fighting a unique Numu and it's very intense. Shoko. Everyone turned to the said girl worriedly and the dual-haired girl stared at the television with gritted teeth. It's pure panic, Kami said, this is bad. On the TV, Izuku got up worried for Shoko as he quickly texted Pony to keep Eri in her room. Endeavor is. Todoroki. Shino ran in with you, so you were already watching. You've gotta be kidding. Shoko stared at the television shakily until a boy on breaking news shout out about Endeavor not giving up. A minute later, the flame hero suddenly tackled the creature on news and it looked like he was getting upper hand. Dad, she screamed out, I'm watching. Her father suddenly destroyed the creature with the ultimate move, Prominence Burn, then crashed down on the ground before Endeavor stand up with raising fist. At that, Shoko crouched down with hands on her face as everyone quickly gathered around her in sign of support until they see a familiar person show up on television. Dabi, the villain was about to attack Endeavor until Maruko suddenly show up, causing Dabi to disappear via slimy teleportation. Todoroki, do you want to go see your father? Shino asked her, I'll make some call and find where they'll take your father to. I'd like to go home, if that's okay. The dual-haired girl said, My siblings. Yes, that's okay. The Telef heroine nodded. Come on, I'll drive you there. Shoko. Izuku looked worried for her. It's okay. Shoko hugged him tightly. I'll be fine. She break apart to left with his homeroom teacher and some just look on in worry. I'm gonna check on Eri-chan and let Pony know. The greenette boy said to them after a minute of silence, heading to the elevator. Few days later at night, Izuku have a weirdest dream that turn out to be connected to One for All and he get a glimpse of the history before he wake up to find his room messy with some damages. What? Izuku panted heavily. He need to tell Toshinori the first thing in morning. Izuku and Toshinori walked together down the hallway after a discussion about Izuku's dream and One for All until they run into Aizawa and a familiar face. Oh, looks like you two are getting along well, as always. Aizawa grunted. Aizawa, you've got it all wrong. Toshinori flustered. He was being really pushy, so. Stop acting like you just got caught having an affair. The scruffy man deadpanned. It's weird. Shinso. Izuku greeted Hitoshi. You were with Aizawa-sensei back then too, weren't you? Yeah, I guess so. Hitoshi scratched the back of his neck. Midoriya, hurry and get suited up. Aizawa said, you will have a busy day today. The said boy was confused by his comment. The Class 1A were walking together in their winter hero outfit, mostly. I'm so excited. Toru skipped. Hagakure, aren't you cold? Kyoka asked with hands in her pockets. I'm freezing, even if I'm wearing my invisible costume. The invisible girl shivered. That's some willpower. The rocker muttered. These are my winter specs. Mina posed. Aren't they cool? Everyone's costumes have changed a lot since when we started school. Kashiko said. Yeah, no thank to the pervy designers. Kyoka grunted annoyingly before she glanced to some certain girls, but let's not forget that few out of us have their awakening, so that must be the main reason behind the costume's change. Some nodded at that. Kachan changed her costume too. Izuku inputted. Ha, Katsuki wear a black version of her costume. If ya got a problem then say it to my face, ya damn nerd. That suit. The greenette start to mumbling about her winter outfit and cold resistance to protect her quirk. Don't flatter me, she screamed with burning blush. Midori, your suits had the most dramatic change. The pink-skinned girl said to get the said boy's attention. Yep, it's really been able to increase what I'm able to do. Izuku nodded. This glove is amazing. It's actually already the second version. Hatsume even went so far as to match it to my strength level. Ah, Hatsume. Ochako smiled as she stared off in space before she suddenly punched herself in face. Go away. Ochako. Kaoruko dropped her jaw at the gravity girl in bewilderment. Oi, oi. The Class 1A turned to see Nito strolled up to them with his class. Quite the relaxed vibe coming from you guys. You wouldn't be underestimating us, now would you? Oh, they made it. Setsuna smirked. We ain't underestimating you. We're looking forward to it. Is that right? Nito laughed. The wave of momentum is definitely moving to our side now. Now, Class A, today, is the day we settle things between us, don't you think? Exclamation mark quote. He pulled a paper out of nowhere. Take a look at this questionnaire. It's from right after the Culture Festival. Which did you think was better, Class A's concert and Class B's extremely high-quality play? Can you see it? We won by 2 votes. You all have been getting all the attention since we started at UA, but that's all starting to change. Sen slowly approached him, and today, A versus B, our first ever joint training battle. We're go, a scarf wrapped around his neck, GEHHH. Shut up, Aizawa drawled, and by the way, I think you misread it. Suyu pointed out to the paper, it said a 1 by 2 votes. The copycat's eyes widened in disbelief before his eyes snapped down to the paper to see that the frog girl was telling the truth. I said shut up. The scruffy man deadpanned. Oh, Aizawa-sensei. Izuku gasped at the sudden appearance of the underground hero as Vlad and Shino show up. We're going to have a special guest this time. Vlad King said, please don't do anything to embarrass yourselves. A guest. Momo tilted her head. Is it a girl? Mineta drooled. Let's do our best together. Tetsu pumped his fist. He's trying to transfer into the hero department. Aizawa stepped aside to reveal Hitoshi to some students' surprise. It's Shinso Hitoshi from the General Department's Class C. So that's what he meant when he said, well, yeah. Izuku said. Wait, is that Aizawa's binding cloth? Honda pointed out. I guess the mask is an original, huh? It's good to have you with us, dude. The steel user said, and few were talking about the brainwash quirk. Go ahead and greet everyone. Aizawa said to the purple-haired boy. I know I've already encountered many of you at the sports festival, but you won't catch me thinking that we're all buddies now that we've exchanged blows. Hitoshi said, I'm not some good-natured person trying to tout a superficial sense of sportsmanship. The fact of the matter is, I've gotten a late start and I've already been left in the dust by hundreds of steps by you all. I'm sorry, but I'm desperate. I will become a great hero, so that I can use my quirk to help others. All of you here today are obstacles that I must overcome. I have no intention of making friends. That's quite the glare. Ochako clapped with everyone else. Things are getting tense. Fumikage said. It's like I'm looking at early Roki. Kami said. You think? Shoko asked. Yep, the illustrator replied. I like this one. Nito rubbed his chin. Alright, let's get right down to it then. Shino clapped her hands. Combat exercises. Vlad King announced. This time around it's a battle between Class A versus Class B, and the stage will be this section of Training Field Y. Each side will split up into group of 4, and one team from each will battle it out at a time. 4 to a team, Setsuna said. Sounds fun. Fun. Kanoko repeated. Including Shinso. How are they gonna make up with that odd number? Jirota pointed out. Today, Shinso will be participating in 2 battles. Shino explained, one on Class A's side and one with Class B. In other words, out of 5 matches, 2 of them will be 5 versus 4. Trying to integrate Shinso, who has next to no experience, into your team of 4 will likely be an even bigger disadvantage. It's true that the team of 5 has the numerical advantage, but they'll still have a handicap. The setting for this battle is, the heroes move to surround the villain group and capture them. The Blood Hero said, each team shall perceive the other as the villains. Once either team captures 4 members of the other, it's their victory. They have been saying that the villains are becoming organized after all. Kanoko said. Nice and simple. Tetsu said, I like it. We're supposed to be heroes, and yet to our opponents, we're villains. Tenya had a crisis, so which is it? What are we? I think it's fine to consider yourself a hero. Momo said. In each team's camp, we've installed a wicked cute irredeemable prison. Aizawa looked like he wanted to die after saying that. The moment you imprison your opponent in there, they'll be considered captured. Not only do you have to team up with an inexperienced member, but also, even if you're a team of 5, you'll still lose if 4 of you are captured. Shino pick a white lottery box as Vlad have black lottery box. Alright then. Time to draw lots. Vlad said as the students draw their balls. Alright, Shinso, go ahead and draw yours. You'll join the teams of each number you pull. Hitoshi drew the balls, black 5 and white 1. In the end, teams and matchup were formed. The first match will have Tsuyu, Hitoshi, Kami, Abara and Kaoruko up against Denki, Jirota, Hiryu and Kosei. The second match will have Momo, Itsuka, Toru and Kanoko facing Yuga, Manga, Shihai and Fumikage. The third match will have Kashiko, Shoko, Yui and Pony fight Tetsu, Juzo, Sen and Toguru. The fourth match has Katsuki, Kyoka, Setsuna and Habuko face Rikido, Kojira, Tenya and Honta. The fifth and last match will have Izuku, Ochako, Reiko and Mina up against Nito, Hitoshi, Mineta, Mezzo and Eijiro. I know one of ours said some nasty stuff. Kami said, but let's try and get along all the same. It's a pleasure working with ya, fam. Thank for having me, Hitoshi said flatly. You're good. Nito laughed madly. Yes, very good. Let us join forces and give that deplorable Class A nice thrashing. Thank for having me, the purple-haired boy repeated flatly. It'll be a rematch for you, huh, Deku. Ochako turned to the said teenager. Yeah, Izuku took his notebook out of nowhere, have you gotten stronger, Shinso? I'm excited to see how you'll come after us. Wait, where did he pull it out from? All boys and some adults blinked rapidly at the green-eyed boy's notebook while most girls and Shino seemed to be unfazed by the bizarre sight as if they have been used to it. You'll start in your own areas. Aizawa spoke up with one odd eye on Izuku. The time limit is 20 minutes. If you're unable to finish the match in that amount of time, the team with more members remaining wins. All Might, Mount Lady and Midnight are here. Mina spotted the said teachers as they walk up the stairs to join them. Without further ado, let the first match start. Vlad said very eagerly, will it be Class A, who has demonstrated remarkable abilities in times of crisis, or Class B, who has been steadily raising their level as a whole? I'm looking forward to finding out. I think you spend too much time with Present Mike. Aizawa deadpanned at the Blood Hero as the first two teams went to their assigned zones. I wonder how it will turn out. Mina wondered before she glanced to Izuku. Midori, any thoughts? I believe that our class will win this match with right strategy and match up until it can go other way around. Izuku wrote down in his notebook, Abara's vines can counter Kaminari's electricity. Kaoruko might cover others' sense up with her bubbles if my theory about Shishida is correct, and there's Shinso. Although I'm still curious about his mask. He hummed thoughtfully before he started to mumbling rapidly, scribbling away in his notebook. Here he goes again. Most girls just smiled at him with closed eyes, and the first match have ended in Class A's victory narrowly with only Kami and Kaoruko captured. What did you learn from this experience? Shino asked the students as soon as they returned from the battle zone. I regret losing two teammates. Suyu said, I wanted to win without anyone missing. But it turned into pure chaos. Abara agreed with her by praying. I should have dosed my teammates with bubbles to cover their sense up. Kaoruko winced. I don't keep my guard up when I was at distance from everyone. Kami said. I wasn't even able to apply 10% of what I learned. Hitoshi stretched his scarves out with a grimace. It's incredibly frustrating. If you were able to do everything immediately, you wouldn't be working so hard. Aizawa said to the purple-haired boy, it took me 6 years to master the binding cloth. Do not forget the frustration you're feeling as you fight your next battle. Yes, sir, the brainwash user replied. That was a close one. Setsuna said to some of her classmates as the teachers gave their students some tips and advices and the teams start to discussing their strategies. The second match have ended within 15 minutes in Class A's perfect victory, thanks to combination of intelligences between Momo and Itsuka. Manga and Fumikage did give them a run for money until Kanoko grow mushrooms inside their throats to Class B's fear and horror, although it was harmless with no side effects in long term once the fungus has been removed. That's some pretty extensive destruction. Hitoshi stared at collapsed zone blankly. That's just how it is with hero course training. Aizawa deadpanned, but they did destroy just a little too much. Fukidashi. Vlad King sighed at his sheepish student, as I'm sure you're already aware, you must keep the damage to the absolute minimum. You too, Kendo, Yaoyorozu. Shino said to her students, and the creator looked little sheepish since she created a large cannon, which was partly responsible for heavy environment damage. Her head turned to the Blood Hero. While we move the stage, I suppose we can take a short break. The Blood Hero nods his head in agreement. Man, Class B really is full with tough fighters, huh? Kami sat down with some of her classmates. We could say the same about you. Honta overheard her. Fukidashi, I can't believe you can shoot out such huge projectiles. Toru said to her former opponent. Yeah, but it gives me a wicked sore throat. Manga rubbed his throat. It's tough to put up with. This goes without saying, but it's not just everyone's quirks that have improved. Izuku have his nose in his notebook as he wrote more. Their mental growth serves to augment the strengths of their quirks even further. You sure are writing a lot. Ochako peeked at his notebook with a smile. You've improved a lot too, Deku. I hope that's the case. The green-eyed boy replied. Young Midoriya. Toshinori approached the said boy from behind. I am quietly here. No, you're not, Reiko said under her breath flatly. The retired hero was anything but quiet. A moment, please. The former number 1 hero beckoned the green-eyed boy to follow him. Well, aren't they close? Mina commented. Wonder what he wants to talk to him about. The gravity girl said curiously. Maybe more advices about Izuku's quirk. Kami assumed and Izuku returned to their side almost 10 minutes later, just in time for the next match. The third match turned out to be intense that 4 students were down. Both Kashiko and Sen were captured and the result was a draw on Pony's part by distracting Toguro long enough to run the timer out. It was so vague, unfair. Denki cried in frustration. They probably considered this result since running and waiting for help is still regarded as a legitimate action. Jirota said, and the teachers moved them on to the next match right away as soon as the medic bots escort the exhausted and injured teenagers away from the battlefield. Look like Mandalay's best teacher than you are, Aizawa said to Vlad King, and the blood hero looked like he's going to blow a vein as the fourth match swiftly ended in just 5 minutes. It was a landslide victory of Class A after they capture all boys. Please stop poking the bear. Shino's sweat dropped at her fellow teachers with a smile before she tell the final set of students to go prepare for the final match of the day. So Shinso is with them, right? Mina said as Izuku hopped around for a little warm-up. I'm kinda nervous now. Don't wanna get brainwashed, you know. We just have to try not to get caught in his grasp. Ochako said, the opposing team is comprised of members who can attack even if we can't see them with the naked eye, and if we do, they have some tough close combat guys like Shoji and Kirishima. She floated her helmet, we'll float. And melt. Mina produced some acids. And fling. Reiko moved the gravity girl's helmet back onto the brunette's head with her quirk. But we're still at a disadvantage. The gravity girl sighed with the Pinkett. We can't just wait before attacking. I'll be the scapegoat. Izuku landed in front of them. How are you feeling? The Pinkett asked worriedly. You said you thought your quirk was acting strangely. Yeah, the greenette looked at his hand. There doesn't seem to be anything different, just the same as usual. But, after watching the 4th round, I feel like the opposing team is wary of us. We need to be even more vigilant than ever. It'll be all right, we're counting on you. The ghost girl said. It'll be fine. Izuku smiled. We'll definitely win this. They hear the announcement that the match have begun and they move out. The greenette scouted ahead for his teammates as planned, and he was going over the plan in his mind until he heard Ochako's scream and his head snapped toward to see Nito. Oh my, I suppose you found me. Nito smirked smugly. After seeing what Bakugo is capable of, I would obviously be wary of you as well. When faced with someone as strong and agile as you, being careful is what any clever human would do. He stepped back. Let's take a step back though. A clever person would also think, that guy over there is strong, so we'll just let him move ahead of us 3. They'll probably want to get rid of the 3 of us first. The greenette stay quiet as he carefully make his way close to the copycat, since it's possible that the copycat may have brainwash quirk. You're trying to distract us, so we'll tell you where we're hiding. I'm pretty sure my other comrades have already found the other 3 on your team. So it's now 3 against 4. Will they even be okay? Shinso's there as well. They won't be able to communicate with each other closely. It seems like you need to rush to their aid now. Oh, but wait. Question mark. What if that? Ah, just now was Shinso's voice. That means the other 3 haven't been found yet. That's what you probably thought, right? Ha ha ha. You're stuck, aren't you? Izuku lunged toward to him. You won't help your comrades. How heartless of you. He clapped his hands together. You know, I talked with Shinso-kun about this. Those who are blessed in this world fall hardest. Tell me this, how can you smile so confidently? Especially since you're the reason for the demise of the symbol of peace. His comment seemed to anger Izuku, and the greenette was about to flick his finger until black tendrils explode from Izuku's right arm and they shot outward wildly. Why? What's going on? The greenette cried mentally, barely hear anything from Nito. This, up until just now, there was nothing wrong with it. He feel the tendrils shifting toward to the copycat, run away. He warned the copycat as the tendrils flew toward to the target and Nito dove to another pipe. The tendrils latch onto the piles before it yanked the greenette through the pipes with loud crash. Izuku held his thrashing arm with tendrils before he noticed Shinso from the corner of his eyes. Shinso, run away. I can't, he groaned out as one of tendrils lash out. Control this power. It's overflowing. More tendrils shot out through the pipes and it flew all over the zone-like web, lashing and latch randomly. Before Izuku knew it, he flew out high up in air by wild tendrils before he hit a tower on his back. Stop, he cried to himself with grunts as the tendrils kept lashing wildly. Stop this. Izuku have no idea why OFA is acting up like that and he suddenly feel two bodies land on his back, a quick glance reveal Ochako and Reiko. Calm down, Reiko shouted. I can't. Izuku gritted his teeth in pain. Stop it. Shinso. Ochako called out to the said purple-haired boy, use your brainwashing to stop Deku. It's clear as plain as day that the Greenette isn't doing it of his own free will. Midoriya AAA. Hitoshi shouted with his mask down, let's fight again. Ing. The Greenette opened his mouth. Yeah. The tendrils suddenly stay still as the boy's eyes glossed over and the tendrils retract into his arm, vanishing without a trace. Izuku. The ghost girl looked at him. Deku-kun. The gravity girl shook him and she pulled her hand back for slap until the Greenette finally snap out with blinks before she accidentally slap him loudly. Are you okay? I hope I didn't hurt you with that slap. Oh Ochako. RR Reiko. Izuku glanced between them and his right hand. Please stay away, it's dangerous. Seems like Shinso's brainwashing was able to calm down your quirk. Ochako said as they make a safe landing. You feeling okay? Reiko asked him and the boy noticed something. Guys, you're injured. The Greenette said. Ah, what did I do? Nito suddenly pop up behind him with a swing of his arm and Izuku turned his head with widened eyes. Oh, Nito grinned wickedly, but it's not over yet. Suddenly, pair of shoes slam into side of his head and it send him flying away with some tumbles. Mina. Izuku gasped at the sight of acid user. Are you guys okay? Mina land with a roll. I don't know what happened but this black thing's just knocked Shoji and little shit out. She shot the girls an accusing glare, and I have to haul them to the jail myself. Do you know how heavy Shoji is? Very heavy. Sorry. Ochako smiled sheepishly. There you guys are. Eijiro ran out to them. Are everyone okay? He asked, while throwing a punch at Mina, who evaded by skating backward on acid. The rest are here. The gravity girl gasped, on the battlefield. A scarf flew toward to the back of her head but it was grabbed by Izuku and his eyes meet with Hitoshi's eyes before the purple-haired boy yanked him over the edge, sending the Greenette to the lower level. You've lost your power. She gasped over the ledge. Deku-kun is. I might expose everyone to danger again. Izuku got up. In my current state, I can't use my quirk. Then let's retreat for the moment. Ochako glanced sideways to see Reiko tied Nito up with ropes with her quirk. We can regroup. If we retreat, we'll lose. The Greenette looked up to his opponent. While we have Shinso right in front of our eyes, now is our chance to win. But, the gravity girl realized, Deku-kun, are you telling me that you're gonna fight quirkless? Yes, Izuku said with his eyes stay on Shinso. Ochako, go help others. I get that, but first, he whisper a plan to her. Okay, you better win that. Ochako replied as she sneakily pat his back with 5 fingers before she run to help others, leaving the Greenette behind with his opponent. She glanced over her shoulder for a moment to see Izuku float up to Shinso's level and she cancel her quirk to give his gravity back. I'll get him to the jail. Reiko called out to the gravity girl as she dragged the copycat away from the battlefield. Mina need your assist. Got it. The gravity girl rush over to see Mina launch some acid balls at Eijiro, who ducked behind a steel pipe that melt under the acid. The moment Ochako saw that the hardened user don't have his quirk on and was distracted by the acid, she took action by sneaking up and give him a neck chop with enough force to knock him out. He's down, she called out to the acid user. Wow, you go, girl. Mina rushed over to see the redhead down and out for count. They quickly tied him up before they carry him across the zone to the jail, tossing him inside. All right. Let's go and help MI. She turned to see something. Oh, never mind. Huh. Ochako looked back to see Izuku bringing Shinso to the jail. Oh, you did it. Why yeah. Izuku panted out with a smile and the ghost girl arrived. She was about to go back them up but it was already over. Final result. Class A's victory. Midnight announced with a grin. 4 victory and 1 draw. Yeeeeeeah, girl power. Toru pumped her fist up. There's Izuku, Kaoruko pointed out amusingly. Girl power with speckle of stud. The invisible girl pumped her fist again, causing some to sweat drop at her, and Class B were kneeling over in dejection. In any case, Midoriya, Aizawa turned to the said boy after talk with Shinso. What the hell was that? An ebony mass brought forth from within, Fumikage hummed. It kind of went wild, but you got a name for it? Shihai asked. Was it a new move derived from your quirk? Someone asked. How does it work? Well, Izuku looked at his flexing hand. I'm actually not too sure myself. My power overflowed, and I wasn't able to suppress it. It felt like all that I had believed in up until now was stripped away. I myself was scared. He looked up, but when Ochako, Reiko and Shinso helped stop me, I realized that it wasn't that. If Shinso wasn't there to use his brainwashing to stop my thoughts, I'm not sure what would have happened. Shinso asked me if it was a bluff, but I legitimately didn't know what was going on, so thank you. To three of you. That's right. Midnight suddenly jumped in, the way Shinso took on Midoriya's rampage. And the girl's quick reactions. So amazing. To use one's own body in order to calm one's friend down. Yes, that's right. That's what I love to see. I didn't actually do it just because of you, Midoriya. Hitoshi spoke up. I saw that guys were being attacked by that black thing, and know that our chances of winning would be slim if that thing wasn't stopped. I stopped it because I want to fight you and win. It all happened by chance. I was only thinking of myself. Aizawa suddenly pulled Hitoshi's scarves to lightly strangle to shut him up. Violence. Denki cried out, PTA. 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 Everyone chanted, PTA. No one was expecting you to go that far. Aizawa released Hitoshi's scarves. Everyone here has been training hard every day to be a hero that can save someone. Anyone who can get there instantly would be an All Might level genius. You won't be able to save anyone if you're only thinking of others. You can't help others if you don't have the power to help yourself. With that in mind, your actions were more than enough to pass. Shinso, at end, when you led me into a one-on-one, you were trying to fight me with your own specialty, right? Izuku said, you were so quick to stop my movements with the pipes, plus the way you used the cloth was so almost identical to Aizawa-sensei. To be honest, in the first match, I thought you were just drawing off the team's power, but in the end, that wasn't all. Your movement and situational analysis skills aren't inferior to anyone else here in the hero department. It was amazing. He clenched his fist. If we're going to talk about strength that others can rely on, it's me who's not there yet. Indeed, the underground hero grunted. We're going to get back to the evaluation now, but probably. Vlad King looked at his jumpy students. No, most certainly. Shinso will join the hero department starting his second year. Nobody here better dare take him on half-heartedly. Ooh, is he going to be in our class? Izuku perked up. No, he's going to Class B on Aizawa's request. Shino smiled at her student. Wah, the greenette boy uttered. Good, I don't want to deal with the whole harem bullshit. Hitoshi deadpanned. It's not harem. Izuku cried a river and barely anyone listened to Nito's rambles. Young Midoriya, Toshinori whispered to the greenette boy, meet me in my office once school is over. He received a tiny nod from Izuku. Do you think Izuku's quirk is a mutation? Setsuna asked Itsuka several hours later in common room as both Class A and B students were socializing for a little party, minus Mineta. Maybe, Itsuka said unsurely. I mean, he said that he's a late bloomer and it's nothing like his parents. She think back to their childhood, or any of his relatives that I heard about. It must be a mutation or his quirk went through some awakenings. Kami said, like Setsuna and some girls. Ooh, must be. The body splitter hummed thoughtfully. Izuku's quirk has been one of main topics of discussion. Hey, I heard you interned with Hawks. Kanoko said to Fumikage, do you have picture of him in private? No, the bird-headed boy blinked at her oddly. Say, I gotta ask. Denki gestured to Eri, who was sitting with Ochako, Tsuyu, Reiko and Pony. Who's this girl and why is she here? My name is Midoriya Eri. The little girl hugged the frog girl's side out of shyness, trying to make herself smaller. Oh, I don't know that Midoriya have a. Tenya adjusted his glasses with a smile and Eri see Izuku enter the dorm before she jump off the couch to run up to him. Papa. Eri hugged Izuku as soon as he get down to her level. Hey, Eri-chan, how was your? Izuku smiled at her daughter. The speedster's glasses cracked, cutting Izuku off as the greenette boy finally noticed that the Class B were present and they gawked at him in pure shock. Oh my god. Denki pointed at Pony. He slept with Tsun, no, wait, his pointing finger shifted to Reiko. With Yan, no, wait, his finger shifted again to Kashiko. With Sek, the girls blushed, no, wait. No. Sen wailed into his hands, I was too late to turn him over. How should you? Tenya cried as the boys start to freak out, I trust you to be. Guys, she's his adopted daughter. Abara shouted with closed eyes. Yes, what she said. Izuku cried with closed eyes as the confused little girl just hugged his leg, not understanding why everyone were acting silly or shouting. Oh, you're all here. A voice drawled and everyone turned around to see Aizawa walk in with flat look, causing the noises to die down immediately. Aizawa-sensei, why are you here? Eijiro was confused by the scruffy teacher's appearance. It would be either Shinso or Ken showing up instead of the scruffy man since they're homeroom teachers. I'm here to tell you that most of the League of Villains has been arrested. Aizawa said bluntly before he spun around on his heels. Bye. Hold on, what? The teenagers cried out before some teenagers quickly ran in front of him to block him off. You can't just leave like that after telling us that. The scruffy man groaned. Why did he draw a short straw? You said most of them are arrested, how did that happen? Kyoka said, I mean, after all these things they put us through. It happens by pure coincidence. Aizawa sighed, the police receive a report that a CRC are having a meeting in a location. CRC? Denki asked, what's that? Creature Rejection Cult. It's a hate group who has been involved with hate crimes against mutant-type people from harassing to lynching. Mezzo explained and some teenagers grimaced or looked horrified by that. Right, the scruffy teacher said, so the police put a raid together with pro-heroes and when they get there, they find the CRC members in middle of fight with League of Villains. One of the pro-heroes happens to have a quirk nullification quirk so they were able to arrested most of the League of Villains. Who get away? Izuku asked. Hamiko. Aizawa answered. Wait, so they caught the ringleader, the one with decay quirk. Kami widened her eyes with several teenagers. About that, he's dead. The scruffy man said to their shock, when they were processing the villains, one of the CRC members break free and stab Shigaraki in neck, severing few main arteries. He died on spot from heavy blood loss and they were too far to get help. He glanced across the shocked faces of teenagers, any questions? No. Okay, bye. Aizawa left the dorm right away, now I need to meet this informant. This person was going to blow whistle on some kind of hidden organization trying to make a comeback and it involves some lifestyle company, politic party and many more. With the teenagers, there was nothing but stunned silence until someone breaks it. Why does it feel so anticlimax? Mina muttered. Yeah, Momo agreed, it feel like many character development and revelations have been removed from that. That does earn few weird looks from other. Well, anything can happen in life, even when it throws a curveball. Rikido said. Yes, but, Eijiro pumped his fist, now we don't have to worry about League of Villains anymore and just focus on our training like manly men. Right, it's over now. Setsuna's lips twitched upward into a grin, no more League of Villains out for our life. Should we be concerning about this Hamiko person? Denki pointed out. I don't think she has any connection other than League of Villains and she'll be on run until then. Suyu hummed. With her quirk and skills, she's more like B rank and it won't be long until some heroes catch her. Most teenagers slowly discuss about the news, mostly celebrating the fact that they don't have to worry about any threats on their lives and other things. Izuku don't know what to think or feel about this news until he feel his phone vibrate and he pull it out to see a text from his parents. Oh, he uttered before he noticed Eri looking up to him curiously. Ah. My parents are coming over in few days to meet you. He never noticed the girls freeze up behind him or the boys looking at the girls in confusion. Ooh, Grandmama and Grandpapa are coming. Eri perked up with various emotions running through her face, mostly nervous because she don't know if Deku's parents will like her or not. Yeah, Izuku smiled. Hey, let's go back to party. Toru held the movie cases up. Movie time. Everyone agreed for the movie night to take their minds off from the news and enjoy the rest of the day. The first year is almost over and some wonder what will the rest of their school years turn out onward after this day. You look really nice and pretty, Eri-chan. Itsuka smiled at the said girl in common room. Thanks. Eri smiled timidly on the couch. She wears a very neat green long-sleeved dress over blue jean. Are you nervous about meeting Izuku's parents? Kami peeked over the headrest at the little girl. Yes. The little girl fidgeted nervously. Will they like me? They totes will because you're most cute adorable girl ever. The illustrator patted Eri's head gently. If not, I'll throw hands at them to change their minds. You're going to throw hands at Izuku's father. Ochako stared at her back blankly. In her mind, Hisashi snapped thumb-sized Kami in pieces like a twig. Oh, that must be them. Mina said as soon as they hear the front door opening, following by footsteps. They see Izuku walk in first, then Inko and finally Hisashi. The giant Draco closed the door behind him and the girls noticed that both parents were carrying bags. Welcome, Midoriya. Most girls greeted the parents in their own ways and Eri shuffled up to Izuku, hiding herself behind his legs out of shyness as she take a good look at them. Hello there, everyone. Inko smiled warmly at them. Thank you for having us. My name is Midoriya Inko and you already have met my husband. She spotted Eri behind her son's legs before her smile widened. Oh, and that must be Eri-chan. Hi. Eri stepped out behind Izuku's legs as she looked up to her timidly. Do you like me? Because if you don't, she pointed at Kami innocently while keep staring up to the woman, Kami will throw hands at you. The said teenager choke on her spit with embarrassing blush when the Midoriya family look up to her with blinks, or evil grin in Hisashi's case. Oh, of course I like you. The plump brunette giggled down to the little girl as she set the bags aside. Is it okay if I give you a hug? Why yes. The little girl replied after few seconds of thinking and Inko give her a hug, which she returned timidly as she enjoy it. After break away, Eri turned to stare up at Hisashi for almost a minute before she stretched her arms out to him as if she was asking for a hug. Ah, aren't you one cutest unicorn? Hisashi have to lower himself all way down so she can hug his head, which outsized her greatly. Why your skin is smooth like glass. Eri commented on his scales, rubbing it with an innocent blink. Haha, that's because I wax every day. The Draco laughed out loud proudly. It sounded like a evil villain hellbent on world domination. Oh, I see, the little girl replied, unfazed by the giant Draco's evil laughter. She's more braver than us. Most teenage girls stared at their interactions. Ah, where's my manner? Momo had realized that she forget to introduce herself to the mother of her crush. My name is Yaoyorozu Momo. Most girls gave Inko their names right away. Oh, Awata Kaoruko. Inko clapped her hands together with a beaming smile as soon as the last girl finished her introduction. It's finally nice to put a face to this name. Huh, Kaoruko blinked at the plump woman in confusion. Kugo told me that he caught you and Izuku holding hands one time. The mother beamed. Then my husband told me that he caught you keying Izuku. I really want to meet my baby's GI. Oh, no, that was an accident. Both Izuku and Kaoruko waved their hands with heavy blush before the latter added, we were holding hands because there was a reason for that. She tried her best to not look back because she can feel many eyes bore into her back before she paused for a moment. I'm sorry, but who's Kugo? Oh, Gang Orca. Inko giggled before she turned her head to her husband. Look at them denying it like. Mom, what's in the bags? Izuku gestured to the bags with red face in attempt to change the topic to spare himself from any farther embarrassment. Oh, some parenting books for you and many presents for Eri-chan. The plump woman answered. Presents. Eri looked curious and interesting as her eyes turned to the bags. Yes, want to look and see what we get for you. Inko smiled down at the little girl. Why yes, If that's okay, the little girl fidgeted shyly. Of course it is. The giggling woman led her adopted granddaughter to the bags with her husband and son behind. Let's. The blue-skinned girl was about to move with a calm smile, but several hands stopped her in her trail and she started to sweating heavily. You're not going anywhere until we get some explanations here. Mina flashed Kaoruko a wide grin with several certain glints in her eyes. Yeah, what's with holding hands thing? Setsuna asked with an arched eyebrow, and this key thing. Never peg you for a rival in love, you sneaky minx. Kami whispered and some agreed with her because that was an unexpected thing to hear about. Gee guys, it's N not WW what you think, Kaoruko stuttered out as she tried to explain everything to them, and the Midoriya family was focused on Eri with her presence that they don't notice the girls grilling the bubble girl for details. After putting Eri's new things away in her room and books in his room, Izuku come down to the common room to see everyone gathered in front of television with some books out on table while his father was cooking something up in kitchen, and he was little puzzled at first as he approached them to get a close look to see that they were watching a home video, his home videos. And the books, it's family albums. Wah. Izuku choked out in surprise. Oh, Izuku, you're here in time. Inko pointed to the television with a beaming smile. Look, that is how you get your cute cinnamon bun nickname. The monitor show a kitchen as it moved close to a large drawer, and a large black claw reach out to pull the drawer to reveal many cinnamon rolls, with 3-year-old Izuku lying under a cinnamon roll on his stomach with a wide innocent smile. Izuku, why are you inside like that? Hisashi's voice asked. I'm a cinnamon bun. The little boy squeaked out with a gleeful giggle. Ah. Izuku jumped in front of the giggling teenagers as he tried to turn the television off with rapid pressing finger until it finally turned off after dozen attempts before he turned around to face everyone with red face. Mom, Dad. Do you have to bring them here and show everyone that? The blushing brunette boy quickly closed the books up with some scramble. He hoped that they don't see any of his embarrassing childhood pictures. Yes, I want to show Eri-chan what her papa was like when he was little. The plump woman giggled. And we already saw all of your embarrassing pictures. Setsuna teased, and the boy froze with red face. Did he just say it out loud? Yes, you did. I like the one with you in a cute green dragon onesie. I think the one with All Might onesie was adorable. Ochako added, and the poor boy's face become more and more red as some girls bring up some pictures they like. Everyone, it's ready. Hisashi stepped out of the kitchen. Inko, cinnamon bun, Eri, your plates are on the counter. Oh, thank you, dear. Inko beamed at her husband as she led her son and little girl into the kitchen, and the girls were about to follow them, but the Draco blocked their way, glowering over them with smoky breaths. You may pull wool over my dear Inko-chan's eyes, but you can't fool me. The Draco growled deadly with comedic tick. I don't buy the whole adoption thing. I know the truth. What are YYUTT talking about? Itsuka asked him bewilderedly with trembling body. One of you knock my cinnamon bun up. Hisashi gritted his teeth at them with glowing eyes. You impregnate my baby, then his baby age up to 6 as soon as she is born. So fuss up. WHO did it. Quote. The girls stared at him in complete silence for a while before the orangutan speak up. Do you know how RRR ridiculous USS sound like right NN now? Quirk is bullshit. One of you must have feud a quirk, and Eri may have an aging quirk. The Draco growled. Perfect cases are Cyto C. He went on a low mumbling rant, mostly revolving around some certain quirks, and the girls can't help but to sweat drop at him. Dad, do you know where the craving knife is? Izuku poked his head out. Right here, my cinnamon bun. Hisashi turned to him with a happy tone as he held the said knife up. I was asking your lovely friends how big slice do they want. Ha ha ha. Where did he get this knife from? The girls stared at the Draco with cold sweats. After seeing the Midoriya parents off few hours later, some girls were slumping over in the common room and they looked so exhausted. Izuku's dad is crazy. Toru beeped out. Tell us something we don't know, Setsuna muttered into couch pillow. Almost a week later, Izuku was washing dishes with Kanoko in the kitchen since they're on dish duty for a day. Any more in the sink? Izuku put some dry plates away. Let me check. Kanoko checked the sink with light blush. Yes, AF few. Her head turned to him. You see can leave the rest tea to me. No. He shook his head. Let's finish it together. Okay. She nodded slightly and they resume washing for a while until she speak up. How's things going with our raising Eri? How are you doing? I'm doing good, just struggling a bit. Izuku said. I don't know much about raising a child but that's okay because I have help from my parents and you. Kanoko stuttered out with red face. You and the GG girls. He said quickly with a light blush as he realized what it sounded like before he corrected himself. You guys have been a huge help to me. Taking care of Eri and W watch after her in my place when IW went out for training, and other things. W well, we all want to pitch in and help you out, the mushroom user replied timidly. Why you would do the same thing if one of you end up in your situation. Yeah, Izuku muttered in agreement before he noticed Eri walking up to them with empty plate and cup. Papa, I finished. Eri held them up to him. Oh, good job, Eri-chan. He took it from the smiling little girl and she watches the teenagers washing the dishes for few moments before she opened her mouth. Papa, is Kanoko mama? She asked suddenly as the teenagers choke on their spits with some stutter, because you both are washing together like TV papa and mama. No. WW we're just helping each other with CC chores. Izuku stuttered with red face as Kanoko's married life with Izuku. Imagination run wild with atomic blush. That's normal thing to do as FFF friends. Okay. Eri shrugged her shoulders before she walked away from them to the common room. Weirdo here. Kanoko shoved the last plate into the greenette's hands before she run away, covering her red face with both hands. Yay. He dried the plate with heavy blush. Izuku was training in one of UA's gyms to improve his shooting style and he was alone, until the sound of doors slide open with a slam caused him to jump up, following by a familiar voice. Oh hey, Izuku. The said boy turned to see Najire approaching him in gym outfit. Oh hello, Hado senpai. Izuku greeted with small pants as he wiped some sweats off his face. Are you here to training? He realized something. Wait, did she call me by my first name? Call me Najire and yeah, I am. Najire grinned. Wanna train together? Maybe I can help you with your moves or whatever you're working on. Oh, how's Eri? Have she asked for me? What about? She ramble on with many questions. We can. Before he can make an response, the doors open again with a small slam and they look over to see Mawata in her gym outfit. Oh, if isn't it little bun? Mawata approached them with a lifted hand. If you're here to training, want to do it together with me? He's training with me. The blue-haired girl pulled Izuku close to her by his arm with a smile. But Izuku stuttered out. I think he want to do it with me instead of you. The smiling Pinkett pulled the boy close to her by his other arm and the girls stare each other down with sweet smiles. How about we train together? He muttered out. No. Both girls replied to his somewhat confusion. Little does the greenette know is that both senpais want to get close to him by having one-on-one training and they have seen each other as rivals lately since they both developed some feelings for Izuku. Is it okay to have slumber party? Izuku asked the girls as they watched television in their pajamas and only Eri and Katsuki were not present because the former was spending weekend with Izuku's parents and the latter was out of town with her parents to visit some relatives. Because I'm only boy and it feel like we're leaving Kachan out. It's fine, we want you here. Mina waved it off with a grin, you're the honorary girl here. And beside, Bakugo will dampen the mood. Kyoka scoffed. She will try and take over of the party, saying crap and force us to do whatever she want like last time. Remember. Don't remind me that. Setsuna groaned. Katsuki was such a control freak when she take over the last party and ruin almost everyone's mood. Not even Izuku can try to defend the buddy girl because he knows she did something so wrong. At least we all agreed to leave her out of some parties in future while letting her in other half. Toru muttered. Alright, do you know what time it is now? The body splitter grinned widely at her friends as soon as the show ended before she lifted an empty bottle up in air. Truth or dare? Ooh, some girls giggled out before the invisible girl spoke up, and the bottle is for spinning, right? She wants to make sure because there are various versions of this game. Yup. Setsuna popped her lips as everyone sat down on floor in circle. Who want to go first? Me. Kami waved her right hand up before she reach over to spin the bottle and it land on Kaoruko. Truth or dare? Truth. Kaoruko said. If you were into girls, who among us do you think you would totes marry? The illustrator asked. The blue-skinned girl glanced right and left. I think, Momo. She'll take good care of me. And have a great body. Mina teased, causing some to laugh out. Mina, please. Momo gave her a light look with blush. It's my turn to spin it, right? Kaoruko spin the bottle and it pointed at Tsuyu. Truth. The frog girl said. Do a marry, F****, kill one. The bubble girl said. Marry Izuku, F****, Habuko and kill Katsuki. Tsuyu answered right away. Wow. No hesitance there. The pink-skinned girl whistled. I know what I like and Katsuki won't know about that anyway. The frog girl shrugged her shoulders as she spun the bottle and it landed on Yui. Truth or dare? Dare. Yui said. I dare you to lick Izuku's cheek. Tsuyu said. What? Izuku choked out before he feels something wet sliding up on his cheek and his bloodshot eyes shakily turned to see Yui leaning on his side as she slowly lick his cheek. Lightly key his cheek then she pull her head away from him. Tasty. Yui said expressionlessly. Her left arm held onto his arm as she spun the bottle with free hand and it ended up pointing at Kyoka. Truth or dare? She leaned against the stuttering boy's side. Dare. Kyoka said after she think it over, it won't be something crazy. I dare you to smack Mina's ass. The expressionless girl said flatly. Okay. The punk was wrong. Here, babe. Mina kneeled over on her hands, shaking her rear at Kyoka teasingly with some laughter. The punk rolled her eyes before she give the pinkett a light spank and the game continue on for a while as everyone went twice, some have went 4 times already. Truth or dare? Toru asked Itsuka. Dare. Itsuka said. I dare you to key whoever the bottle land on. The invisible girl giggled. Alright. The orangutan spun the bottle and it stopped in front of Izuku, causing the greenette boy to squeak out in surprise. Oh, that's the chance to make him see me more than a friend. Itsuka's eyes lit up before she scoot over to his side. Izuku, is it okay to give you a key? Hi. Izuku assumed that it was going to be a innocent key on cheek but he don't expect his best friend to key him fully on lips and he gasp out, causing her tongue to slip inside his mouth as it turned into a French key. It lasts for 10 seconds until she break it off by pulling her head away from him and his face become deep red as the orangutan turned back to the bottle. Alright, let's see whose turn is next. Itsuka spun the bottle with a faint blush. Not a childhood friend rival. Some girls swear that Itsuka have an unnoticeable smug smirk but it must be their eyes playing trick. Truth or dare? The orangutan asked Kami. Truth. Kami said. Among the pro heroes, who will you sleep with if you can do it once? Itsuka asked. Honestly, Kami shrugged her shoulders. No one for now. After all, this person is not pro yet. Most girls can see her sneaking a glance at Izuku from the corner of her eyes and they wasn't surprised by that. Alright, my turn. She spun the bottle and it aimed at Izuku. Truth or dare? Dare. Izuku replied after few moments. I dare you to. The illustrator had a certain glint in her eyes. Play key version of spin the bottle. You can't stop until everyone get a key and if the bottle land on same person, you can key them until they decide to sit out of the circle until it's over. That is a surefire way to get a key from her crush without having anyone get in her way, and the key must be 10 seconds long. Ooh, several girls laughed teasingly and some looked bit nervous. If why you're all okay with TT that then? Izuku nervously reached out to spin the bottle. At least SS someone CC can sit out if they don't want to be PP part of it. Why yeah. Kaoruko muttered with light blush and the bottle stopped to point it at Kashiko as the bush-haired boy noticed that no one leave the circle. May I? He asked the glass-wearing girl nervously as he moved to her side. You may. Kashiko nodded. Like Izuku, she assumed that it's going to be an innocent key on cheek, forehead or hand until Izuku plant a chaste key on her lips and her face gain a full-on blush. She can feel some tingles in her lips when he pull away with red face and he spin the bottle again. Izuku ki Habuko on lips as the snake girl have heavy blush and they break apart before he turn back to spin the bottle with heavy blush. Almost everyone were also blushing to some degree. When will I ever get my turn? Kami pouted childishly with a groan. She hasn't get a key from him yet when everyone else does and some even get more than once. Both Kashiko and Habuko have keyed the greenhead boy 5 times already. The bottle pointed to Momo and the blushing creator share a chaste key with Izuku. Come on. Chi there, you'll get your tea turn sooner. Abara patted the illustrator's back with timid smile. Say the girl that keyed Izuku 4 times. The illustrator stared at the blushing vine-haired girl before she noticed that the bottle have pointed to her this time, finally. Izuku was about to ask her for permission but Kami keyed him right away with a French key asterisk, causing the boy to gain full-body blush for who know how many times in a night and it lasts for a bit over 10 seconds before she break apart from him with a heavy pant. Izuku, I love, Kami was about to confess but some girls suddenly cover her mouth as they pull her back into a pile and Izuku blinked owlishly at the sight. Izuku, can you please get us some water? Itsuka smiled with closed eyes and several girls voiced out for different drinks from tea to soda. Oh okay, I will. He got up to go into the kitchen and he noticed that the girls were huddling together with many whispers as if they were having some discussions, a heated debate but he wasn't sure because he can't hear anything from his location and the girls were in their original seating by the time he returned with their drinks. Here you go, the girls thanked him as he handed the drinks out. What were you guys talking about? Nothing. Just a little girl thing. The oranguette smiled again and her best friend doesn't push on it. What the greenette don't know is that some girls have agreed to not confess to him until graduation. Oh, and we're going to take a break from this game to watch some movies. Your pick. Alright, Izuku nodded. Are you all fine with watching some Batman movies? Oh, is that a character from some Western books that you have in your room? Shoko recalled the name. Have seen some of her crush's comic books out on desk when she visit him in attempt to seduce him into marriage, poorly in clumsy fashion. Yeah, Batman is an fictitious superhero from pre-Quirk era comic and is one of Izuku's favorite characters. Itsuka said. Right behind Spider-Man and Captain America. Kaoruko added, which earned a look from the oranguette. He even has all of their movies among the superheroes' movies, including the shows. How do you know that? Ochako asked the bubble girl curiously. We watch some together once in a while. The blue-skinned girl said, it have become an habit for her to watch something with Izuku in his or her room once a week but she won't tell them that anytime soon. You sneaky minx, Kami whispered under her breath. It sounds like this bubble girl is getting close to Izuku pretty fast and right under their noses. Oh, by the way, Kyoka twirled her earjack around her index finger as they settle in to watch a Batman movie. We can't let Bakugo know about the keys. Agreed. Almost everyone said with some blushes, this girl will explode on them as soon as she find out, if she will ever find out. The rest of slumber party went smooth for the rest of night. Kashiko stared down at her drawing on desk in her room with heavy blush. Since her key with Izuku 2 weeks ago, she can't stop thinking about it to point that she end up drawing herself keying Izuku instead of 2 male characters. What's wrong with me? Kashiko's blush deepened. I even can't stop looking at him. She have been sneaking glances at the only male classmate many times and there were some times where she end up staring at his lips while they were talking, which caused him to look down at her lips too. They always blush each time that happened. Wait, do I like him more than a friend? Kashiko realized her feeling before she covered her face as she slumped over her desk. Guess I'm going to let it play out, maybe this feeling will pass shortly. It doesn't as the glass-wearing girl find herself getting close to Izuku over time. Habuko was going through the same thing in her room but she's well aware of her feeling and it make her feel funny lately. To be fair, he's the first boy that looked past my face. The snake girl glanced at her small face mirror with a faint blush. And he even find me attractive. Toru have casually mentioned that Izuku have found everyone in his class to be cute when the girls were changing in the changing room one time. Maybe I should go for it. She wasn't the only one who decided to try and build a deep relationship with the Greenette boy as all the girls start to make their own plans. Eri is very curious about her papa's relationship with the girls because it's so interesting, strange and confusing to her. Papa always say they're just friends, but his face always get red every time she ask him, and she know just enough that the girls see her papa more than a friend, even they behave differently from friends around him. If one of them becomes papa's girlfriend one day, will that make this person her mama? When it happen, she wonder who will be one, and if she's allowed to pick, it'll be hard decision because almost everyone are good for her papa. The group that are mostly likely to be her mama are Itsuka, Ochako, Kaoruko, Tsuyu, Najire, Kyoka, Shoko, Pony, Momo and Kami, because they mostly spend a lot of time with Izuku almost all the time. Plus, there are a lot of things that she like about them, mostly Kyoka's singing, and 4 out of them are the one who helped Papa save her from overhaul at this time. The second group seems to have a good chance of ending up with her papa are Mina, Setsuna, Toru, Kanoko, Reiko, Kashiko, Yui, Abara, Habuko, Kashiko, Mawata and Mei. Some were touchy with Papa from time to time, like few certain girls from first group, and she always see how their face turn red sometime, although she don't know why Kashiko and Papa stare at each other's lips with red face once in a while. Again, Papa does that with different girls. Mei suddenly want to stick with her papa after another one of her accidents. Eri remember this day when she was going with her papa to an support studio because he want to check on his costume, and Mei flew out through the blast shield door onto her papa. Then when the smokes clear up, they were keying on lips. Eri have never seen her papa get so red and very flustered when Mei hop off him, asking if he was here for more babies as she pull him inside and get all touchy in front of the little girl, and the Pinkett stare at him for few moments in silence. Then Mei suddenly plant a key on Izuku's lips before she went back to her work, and the Greenette boy was left standing there with gawking face. So weird. Anyway, she think you and Shino like papa. You worry a lot about her papa, scolding him rightly when he hurt himself in stupid way, and she was pretty little clingy with him sometime at night. Papa say something about stop getting drunk and juices. Shino often stop by, and Eri can see Papa's face turn red sometime around his teacher even when she get too close to him. The lady's face also get little red once in a while. What Eri don't know is that Shino have become more attracted to Izuku like you over times through his actions, and it gets strengthened by the time Izuku's 3rd year get close to end. Plus, Kota have been asking her to ask Izuku out many times in attempt to lock his hero down into the family. But Eri know one thing. She don't want Katsuki to be her mama because she's too loud, so mean and rude. Every time this lady open her mouth, Eri's mind keep going back to the bad bird men, and she hate how this mean lady treat her papa. If Katsuki tell Papa that she like him or Papa like her, Eri will do everything in her power to make it not happen. Papa deserves someone better. Maybe I can make Papa like Kyoka or Kaoruko. Eri stared intensely at the said teenagers to their nervous yet confusion. Okay, she does have few favorites, but she won't say it out loud yet. Whatever choice her papa makes with any girls, Eri will respect it, as long as it's not this loud mean lady. But she has to wait until the graduation to know the result, according to the fact that she overheard some girls talking about their planning confessions. Izuku carefully remove All Might poster from the wall, and he roll it up carefully, then tuck it into a tube storage before he look around at his half-empty room. It's hard to believe that he's going to graduate in 2 weeks. I can't believe I'm going to be a pro hero. Izuku smiled to himself before he remembers something that turned his face atomic red. But what I can't believe the most are the confessions he has been confessed to by not just one but many. He did have some suspicions that some girls like him, but he don't expect his whole class and more. The others are Sosaki Shino, Takayama Yu, Hatsume Mei, Hado Najire and Fuwa Mawata. Every single one has come up to confess to him separately and in private over the last month, as if they have planned it out to avoid some collisions. The common patterns from them are that they give him times and said that they'll respect whatever choice he make in the end, beside various kind of keys he got from most. Izuku have spent a lot of time thinking about it, and he even asked Eri for her options since his choice will affect her life too. He has finally made his decision as he pick his phone up to look at the screen. It show a list of recent messages, mostly from all the girls who have confessed to him, and there's even group chats. Here I go. Izuku took a deep breath before he opened a certain messaging up and he texted away with shaky thumbs. It was just a simple meeting at a location and time. After all, it's better to give answer in person instead of over phone. Gee there. He sent it before he put his phone away with another deep breath and the greenette walk over to the door as many memories of his school years flash through his head. Izuku exit the room and the door close behind him as he head to the meeting spot. If anyone asked the future number 1 hero what was his class like, Izuku will say it's a lovey class and everyone will agree with him. To be continued. I hope you enjoyed this story. Also remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.